Alright, welcome back to Roll for Story. We've had a week off, but we're ready to explore the Stratus Archipelago, the floating islands that have taken a long journey to get to aboard the Storm Gannet, captained by Captain Monty Pot, Batan's grandfather, and the crew have survived many a peril. But let's go into a little recap, shall we, and find out just what happened last week, because it was quite an intense one. So yeah, Steph, take us into it. Recap.
Okay, well, I don't remember too much of what happened 2 weeks ago, but I'm gonna try. So, Andy's invisible on top of a dragon, trying to get it to fly back to the ship to get it to safety. Kashan and I are on this boat trying to blow it up, make a hole in it, sink it, whatever. Successfully done, though I managed to somehow catapult the cat. Pun not intended, but happy accident anyway. Set his tail on fire, managed to get us off the boat, managed to get the other boat out of the maw, made friends with Sam, whose name is Float Sam. Bunch of other stuff happened that I don't quite remember. I remember talking to Kashan. Apparently my mother was part of the same monastery, which was interesting. He then showed me this weird lamp that seemed to eat candle wick for a few minutes, which freaked me out. What else happened? Carius spoke to the dragon, who flew us up to the floaty islands in the sky, at which point I got off. I'm sat there now. Carius then went back down to the ship to find everybody else, and that's about all I remember.
Cool. All right. Well, that's about where we left off, in fact. So everyone was making their way up. Everyone's kind of in awe at this huge floating island that seems to be in the clouds. And I think also, Carius, you tried to manipulate some of the clouds underneath a smaller island, and you saw it begin to fall and plummet into the ocean.
Yeah.
Splash. It seems like the clouds themselves are somehow holding these islands up, which kind of makes sense now you think about the name. The Stratus Archipelago, Stratus being a type of cloud. Alright. Okay, so I believe Llewellyn also sent forth his Raven to have a quick scout ahead and see what they could see.
Yeah. I did it as I was on my way up anyway.
That's right, yeah. So I'm just going to ask, is everyone going up to the top here?
Figured as much.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, alright.
I'm already up there, so...
Yeah, you've been kind of ferried one by one by this blue dragon known as Zapharok. And kind of placing you down on this huge floating island that seems to not be the highest one, but it's definitely high enough that you can overlook several of these islands, and you see a lush jungle environment. You see draping vines sort of hanging from the underside of them, creating this kind of network of climbing frames, I guess, underneath. And there are huge vines roping one island to another, it seems, kind of all connected. And there are multiple waterfalls kind of running off the edges and down and into the water itself, getting kind of lost in the clouds. But this place looks completely untamed. There are very little signs of any kind of civilization. So if everyone would like to roll a perception check, they can see what they can see is, I believe, well, with Velen, you're trying to do like a flight surveillance, effectively.
Yeah. So.
Oh, we need a 15.
Let me have a look. Do I need to do it? Do I do it as mine or do I do it as a Raven's?
Ravens with it's +4 with advantage.
+4 with advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be
Well, you should have the stats of a Raven open in front of you.
yeah. I was about to do that. Oh, fuck's sake! It doesn't let me do the thing where I can just.
Language.
Sorry. where I can just click it on the thing. D20 plus 4.
And then you can press up and do it again.
D20. Oh, can I?
Yeah.
So I got 18.
18. Okay, cool. So as you're looking out, doing this little surveillance, I'll get to the Raven in a second. First of all, the rest of you guys are all kind of standing atop this rocky peninsula. You can see there are signs of perhaps civilization. There looks to be like big chunks of masonry or rock, and you can just see them way off in the distance. Some of them seem crumbled and almost buried beneath the earth. Some are still standing, but they are completely encased in vine and vegetation. It looks like they have definitely been weathered from time. See their surfaces cracked and worn. What else? Okay, also, you can definitely hear distant kind of roars. There are the sounds of wild tropical birds, and you can hear insects all around you as well. This place is teeming with life, just not the civilized kind, that's all. But as for that distant roar, I think, Andy, you're the one who gets you've got a good ear for things. If you want, you can maybe roll me a nature check to see if you can determine what kind of bestial roar that was in the distance.
I can try, but this is an environment she is not very used to. 14 though.
Okay, you're definitely unable to determine exactly what type of animal it is, but for you, it could have been feline, except that there was something weird about it. It sounded like it reverberated, or maybe it was several lions roaring in unison. But that doesn't usually happen. They're not like wolves where they will suddenly howl at the moon or anything like that.
She just kind of looks at Kashan and she's just kind of like,
Yeah.
Wild cat noises? Wild versions of you noises?
I hope not. That doesn't exactly sound like people from, well, where I come from. Or do they?
I would probably make that noise when I'm hungry or something.
Can I? It's probably a stupid question, but can I make out anything that's being said? That's being scrawled.
Read me, Seymour.
Wait, being said.
Yeah, weird screeching.
You don't hear any screeching.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What was the noise again?
Well, there was a roar from a
Oh,
feline-like
roar.
creature.
Okay, sorry. The roar. Sorry.
Okay, well, Andy kind of describes it, I guess. You can roll.
She tries to copy it as best as she can.
Right. But it just sounds more like a lion coughing up, because there's multiple roars, and it's like all at the same time, kind of like reverberating. Yeah, I guess you can roll a nature check. I'll say with disadvantage, though.
Sounds
Or
good.
she gets out her violin and she tries to copy the sound of that.
0.
I don't hear anything. What are you talking about?
Well, you hear Andy doing one impression with a violin, but
Nails on a chalkboard.
yeah, it's horrible sounding, especially on a violin. It doesn't even sound anything like an animal.
I want to be offended, but
Okay. As for your little raven buddy, you definitely get far out. It depends how far you really want to go with this creature, because as you can see, the islands stretch miles and miles apart from one another.
Well, at first, I'm just circling it, but then once we decide a direction, I'll probably send it a few hundred feet ahead.
Right. Okay.
For now, just circling the
Sure.
area where we're in, but higher up.
Okay. You definitely see that there are little trails. Something has moved through the jungles. You can see like flattened branches. You can see dirt sort of uplifted. where something has been, or like compacted. Something has definitely like worked their way through the jungle. It could lead somewhere. You're not sure, but it definitely looks like a trail through the jungle. Maybe even being like hacked away slightly because everything else is so dense. It's hard to even see through the canopy. But this one area is like a trail, and it seems to pass over one of these rivers that lead into a waterfall. It's a small stream.
Definitely wild beasts in the area,
Hmm.
so better keep ourselves on guard when we're moving through.
Sure.
And then I'll pop out to the view and just send it a few hundred feet ahead before I jump back in at some point.
Okay. Sure. Do you relay this trail that's been spotted?
Yeah, the trail through to the waterfall.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so yeah, Llewellyn kind of comes back out of the senses of his flying raven and reports this. It's not too far from you guys as well, by the sounds. You wouldn't have to cross any dangerous terrain just yet. It's on the same island you're on.
Was it completely safe? Did you see any creatures or?
Just tracks. I only really saw tracks. It was heading in the direction of this waterfall.
It
What
would.
kind of tracks were they? What did they look like?
Chris?
It's too far away to see. You'd have to actually go and investigate them yourself. You just saw a trail, like a pathway through. Something's cut their way through the jungle.
Yeah, I didn't really see. I only got like a bird's eye view. I could just make them out.
It would probably be best to just stay on our guard. Make sure we have everyone at eyesight at all times, especially moving through the dens of the forest.
Alright, well,
Forest
do we
jungle.
have a direction we're meant to be going in? I mean,
That would be a good start.
you're supposed to know, you're the one who's figuring this out.
He'll kind of like scramble into his bag and pull out the scroll and just like hold it out. And just reading through it, there is there any kind of like direction or landmark that is mentioned?
So you know that there is supposed to be a shrine, a great temple of some sort here. Can't see anything sticking out of the jungle that big, but maybe on one of the other islands, perhaps.
Okay.
But I also whispered you something as well.
Yes. Do you have the actual document of it?
No, but I did give you an overview of everything, which was that it's supposed to be two races living here on these islands.
Yeah.
One of them was a gnomish race, and the other was elvish. And that Ladorvu kind of worked talking between both races, and that this temple, this shrine, was a place for unity between the two tribes, effectively a place of peace where they could come together and share stories, share knowledge.
Trying to remember where you sent this, because you did send it to me in writing.
Hello?
Okay.
So
Awesome. Definitely gave you a good overview.
You did.
do we want to follow the beast or do we want to avoid it?
I think the
Maybe we
best.
should put the violin away for now.
No, keep playing. It adds atmosphere. So it's probably. What time of day is it?
It's early in the morning, I'm gonna say.
Early in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, the best thing to do is probably to get up somewhere high, so we're at least able to find out a way of crossing between island to island. And if we do find any more tracks, I think it would be best to maybe avoid it until we understand the lay of the land. The tribes people aren't going. They shouldn't be a problem. They live in. It's great they live in peace with one another.
Chris, in terms of trying to get higher, the island we're on now, is it level or does it head upwards anywhere?
You kind of landed up on the top of the highest point of it.
Oh, the highest point.
Yeah.
Is there any higher than us?
There is many other islands which are miles and miles out, which seem to have huge peaks that rise up and into the clouds themselves. Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm guessing we don't
They
want to
look just as dense with jungle, and they look incredibly hard to traverse, considering they're some of them are on like sheer rock faces.
Ah,
Don't see like a staircase or anything leading to them.
You did say that there were vines between. Do they look like potentially they're natural bridges?
Effectively, they are so huge and vast that you could potentially climb across them. Yeah. If you didn't have the power of flight, this would definitely be one way to get across. If you wanted to try and get
Adrenaline.
Karis is just sort of standing there looking at his glaive as people are on about going higher.
so do we want to waste spells or do we want to foot it?
Oh.
I mean, you said it's like a pilgrimage, right? So would using magic be cheating? Should we walk it? Is that the thing to do? I don't know.
Oh god, we're not going to have to walk, are we? That's boring.
I mean, you could always like hover.
I
That's
thought
true.
pilgrimages were only things in fairy stories.
No, some people do it for like religious reasons or just for the experience.
Why would you do that?
Why not?
Sounds awful.
You need a pair of these, and she points to her happy shoes.
I don't like wearing shoes.
No.
But
Some
you're wearing
people-
shoes.
Yeah, only because it was freezing cold in the last place.
I mean, some people go on these pilgrimages just because they want to travel, and it's a good, like, path. Like, okay, there's these really important places, that's a good route, without me just wandering randomly.
Like, just flying up there takes away all sense of adventure. You gotta go through the jungle and fight the monsters and get beat up, you know?
Alright,
I mean, I'm all for fighting the monsters if we run into any. That sounds fun.
this is your pilgrimage, Kiarshan. Which way are we going?
Yashan.
Yeah, I mean, Catman, I mean, it's kind of your thing. Where are we going? How are we getting there? Either way.
Well, I would just climb personally.
Well, there you go. We go by foot.
Great.
I mean,
You're
that,
not used to this, are you, Kishan?
if I'm honest, I'm not too used to being this far away from home at this point. But yeah, I'm happy to try more things. I mean, we're very high up. I just know that I don't want to get close to any kind of edges.
Well,
Alright, so which direction gives you the best feeling?
And I'm just going to look for anywhere that seems like the tallest peak. So a hill / mountain. Just kind of like
Yeah.
anywhere that looks the highest.
Sure.
If-
Okay. You can start heading off in that direction if you want. There are many different peaks stretching out into the sky.
I shall just point and start walking. This way, I think.
I'll
The trail.
I'll take 5 seconds to
What trail?
I'll take 5 seconds to jump into the Raven and scout ahead, see if the peak he's
Mhm,
pointing I'm going to has any vines that may cross to the next island.
Sure. Yeah. You're
Just give it those orders, jump back out, and then carry on with them.
cool. All right. So, check my whispers here. No, not quite.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought so.
Oh yeah, and Irina, keep Candlewick under control. We don't want to burn down the jungle.
You might be thinking of another.
Sure.
You might be thinking of a gateway there, Kishan.
This is
But anyway.
under Temple of Sun and Moon.
Was it
Yeah.
strange? No, that's. I mean, yeah, they worshipped. Oh wait, yeah, you might be right with the Palo loving gnomes. Yeah. Anyway, all right, just jump into this. Okay. You should see a little fella there. There you go. Oh, how cute.
Oh, nice little
Um,
battle map.
So, as you're, what battle, Matt? No, it's just a map. No, there's no battle taking place. But yeah, you can see the pathway ahead as you're trying to approach the next set of vines that lead up to one of the huge islands. You do see that it actually seems to end up going in the same direction as the trail that you recently spotted, Novellin.
Oh,
And as you can see, as you're going by, this is, well, it's strange. It looks quite clear cut through the jungle, and it looks like tons of little tracks rather than, say, one massive creature. And whatever they were probably like medium-sized, I guess, about the same size as you guys. If you want to really investigate them, be either a survival, nope, just survival. I'm gonna say on this one.
yeah, I'll give him a check out.
Anyone can have a look as well.
Mm,
I'm actually.
Oh, very good.
10, 11, 11,
My
11,
11.
Only
No.
11s.
11, 11, 11.
Oh,
Stormtrooper. Okay.
And
Anyone
rolled
else?
at 11.
Yeah, we need an 11 from Andy as well.
I love
I
Ellen.
mean, she's not going to really know anything anyway about this area, so
Right.
I don't
Okay.
really.
Probably more like, ooh, water, ooh, green.
No, probably more like, water.
Green.
I mean, this is the most green she's probably ever seen. The
So,
green.
as you're all kind of like looking and peering at it, trying to like kick at the dirt, you can't tell how recent they were, not with an 11. You can tell there were definitely numerous tracks. And there's so many though that kind of, whatever scampered through here is kind of all trodden on top of each other's like tracks. So they've kind of muddied them. So it's difficult to tell what kind of creature it was, whether it was on 2 legs, 4 legs, or you can barely make out perhaps little tiny clawed tracks. That's about it. But claws of what? You're not sure.
They have claws.
That's all you can tell.
Good.
Well, obviously it can't be any of the tribes that live up here.
I mean,
So-
unless they've got really in touch with nature and become bird people. Or board people.
I don't think
Maybe-
I've heard of any rumors of elves or gnome-like bird people.
Unless they're druids.
Yes, I guess unless they're druids.
They could be like teeny little goblins, you know, like the ones that steal your socks.
There are goblins that steal socks?
Oh yes, they're around, but they only take the one sock.
Oh yeah.
It's
The left or the right?
I don't think they have a preference. They just take one.
Those
What if they only take that then?
I mean, do socks even have right feet?
I mean,
those
can't be any worse than the underpants gnomes.
Oh, I was trying to say it, but I didn't want to interrupt them.
Hey, look, guys, running water.
You do indeed get to running water. It's moving quite swiftly as it seems to be approaching a waterfall. Ooh, that's too far. Do you guys cross it? Or do you stop to have a little looky, or what now? I think
Well,
the
if-
tracks definitely have passed through here and gone to the other side.
Is it fresh water? Does it look fresh?
What?
It is indeed fresh water, yes. It would have definitely hit the top of the mountains in this jungle, run down it, picked up probably a bit of dirt and nutrients along the way, but it's still fresh.
Probably want to fill up our.
Is it
What?
cold or is it warm water?
Oh, it is warm. Yeah, lukewarm. In fact, I haven't mentioned the temperatures in this place, but it is really, really hot so far. I think Karis, you're the only one really wearing armor right now, correct?
Yeah, but
You are stifling. The heat has been bearing down, turning your suit of armor into a oven.
I'm heat resistant.
Then you are absolutely fine. In fact, Karis, being the one probably the most equipped, is actually looking the least dehydrated.
I mean, she's from the desert. I can set myself on fire.
So
Kashan is covered in fur.
here's
I
an
feel like
interest-
I need to find somewhere to change. I'm too hot in these layers now.
here's an interesting thing. We're on an island in the sky, and all the waterfalls run off
Mhm.
the islands. Is there any fish in this river?
Have a little look. Have a nature check.
Because that would be really weird if there's fish in like going by.
That would be really sad. All the fish born in one pond, and then like the first time they escape, they go off a waterfall.
Into
Val,
the sea.
you can see some splashing nearby, and you can definitely tell that if there was fish here, they wouldn't just fall off and into the ocean. They're freshwater fish, but they seem to be swimming against the current, and that is actually a good place to pick up food, as you know that it's all kind of being channeled into one area, funneled, and so they're picking up all the little insects and snails and whatnot that are getting funneled down here.
So they're constantly trying to swim against the current so they don't fly off the island.
Exactly, but then aren't all fish continuously swimming for the rest of their life? You think, come to think of it, yeah, all fish do have to swim in order to survive. 'Cause if you drag a fish backwards through water, they just drown. Their gills fill up. So yeah, all fish are always swimming all the time, and this is no different for them.
So, do we want to stock up on food, or are we stocked up already from getting off the boat? Would we have stocked up getting off the boat?
We would have done, yes.
Oh yeah.
We don't really need fish then,
I've
do
got
we?
10 days worth of rations, but it's good to note that there's food nearby.
Hmm. Are you
Definitely
crossing
so.
the river?
Yeah, so if it's rapid rushing water,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to take some rope and hand it to somebody else. And I'm gonna sprint across the water with said rope.
Okay.
And like tie it off so they can kind of wade across safely.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So you see Kashan running across the top of the water, no problem. With a rope, hands it back to you guys. It's 50 foot, so it goes quite easily across the way. And everyone else can make me athlete checks with advantage, because I guess you've got a nice rope to help you.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on!
How deep would this water actually be?
It kind of goes. The first few steps are like ankle, then knee high, and then it kind of gets up to about your waist.
I mean, considering that she's a lot shorter than everyone else here.
Carius just sort of looks at Antin and just goes, "Do you want to borrow the glaive?"
I think she'll probably do the whole kind of hooks her knees over the top of the rope and yeah.
And you want to
Instead,
balance across it. Okay.
No, she's basically gonna
You know,
sloth.
yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
So we'll tie it to
She'll
something.
probably look in that and I want to try and avoid going in the water as much as I can. So she kind of just hooks her legs over it and starts.
You could try standing on my shoulders.
I like how he offered it to the two-handed person instead of the one-handed person.
Okay, so let's just.
I'm just like, wait. I quickly fly over Lavelle and I get swept away.
There we go.
I'm glad I didn't even need to describe what was happening. Okay, cool. Yeah, you go over to stop Llewellyn from like drowning. He's like, what are these little noodle arms are getting washed away down the river?
You just see the hook above the water just going away.
Yeah, with that hook, you could probably come down with your glaive and just hook him.
Isn't Llewellyn like 6 foot?
Yeah.
But it's waist deep, so on Llewellyn it's like thigh high.
He's like top
How is
heavy.
he
So,
swept away by that?
It
stood on
gets caught up in his robes, so he's quite water sodden.
I stood on a slimy stone and slipped.
I just sort of looked
Okay.
at it. You just had to ask, and you could have flown across.
Likewise, Andy's kind of taking probably the longest out of everyone, but you do eventually make it across. I'll say that you're about halfway across at this point when something nearby in the bushes suddenly starts rustling, Kashan. In fact, you kind of turn around, you can actually see it from where you're sort of standing. Just past this tree, well, actually just on the other side of that tree, there seems to be an immense amount of rustling. It's not like some sort of things in the undergrowth. Something is properly shaking a load of foliage. It's like
Okay. So I know there's like poisonous like fruit and whatnot, but is there like moving natural like ents kind of deal or angry ents?
wow.
So
I'm
it
not.
doesn't look like me, though, is what you were asking.
I'm not talking about like animals, but I'm talking about like natural creatures.
You'll have to go around the corner to have a look to hear or to see what it is. But it sounds like it's very close, only like 50 foot across. But it sounds like an actual tree kind of rustling, something shaking it perhaps. And then you can hear earth kind of like buckling and almost erupting.
Okay, I'm going to pull out my bow staff and just turn to the others and say, Huddy, you need to get Andy across quick.
I'm coming.
Yeah, we all pull on the rope, drag her along.
Okay. Alright, so as you start trying to get Andy across, Kishan, you get closer with your bow staff. At this point, you can hear or see the tree from here, right?
I would probably do from here, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So as soon as you see that, you see the tree is rustling back and forward. All the leaves are kind of breaking. There seems to be a bit of like stone masonry kind of uprooting from the ground as well. It's like this sharp, pointed, I guess almost obelisk-looking stonework, and it's coming up from the ground. It seems to be embedded in a mesh of roots that are rising higher and higher right now. And the tree itself seems to just continually grow and stretch itself out further and further. It goes from like a small little sapling to as big as these trees around you, and it keeps getting like bigger and bigger. I need everyone to roll me initiative.
Oh no!
It's getting so large.
Was I right with Ent, by the way?
Yeah, that's why I said wow.
Oh my
because
god.
Oh, wow.
Oh crap, I needed to... That...
Oh,
Holy crap!
Oh my god, I
Oh,
rolled the
it's good,
same...
okay.
I've never seen one before. Irina's just like, she's too distracted by it to realize it's dangerous.
Chris, I know I have my notes on this Oh, I think I found... Yep, found it. Never mind. Yep.
yeah.
Mm,
You good? Okay.
Poisonous
So-
and dangerous creatures, all in caps.
Dangerous creature. You got that right. Okay.
Oh my
There
God,
is
this
indeed a dangerous creature. And as it erupts, you start to see one huge arm land onto the ground, another one bursts free and crushes down upon another tree and then lifts itself up, hoisting itself to its full height. You see this thing is probably easily like 80 foot tall and sort of looms over the rest of the trees right now. You can't see a discernible face or like emotion about it. But you can just see that it is growing out of control and thrashing around. And so I will roll onto initiative, but see what happens first.
Anyone know much about jungles? Is this a typical occurrence? kind of new one for me.
Well, it did say that there was dangerous creatures, but I didn't know of this level.
Have I read anything in the library about these things? Have I seen one of these?
I've met one of these, I think.
For all you can tell, it looks like a gigantic plant-like creature. If it is what you think it is, you can roll a nature check to confirm it, but...
Would that be with advantage because I've met an ancient tree before?
I'm going to say no, because
Damn it.
something else about this is a little bit different, a little bit odd. And it explains why you probably don't understand what it is.
Do I remember anything from the scroll that mentioned anything specific about big treeman?
Freeman? Yeah. You can
Truman
roll
the
me a,
Freeman.
you can roll me a history check.
I'm good at those.
12. You know that the place is lush, and you know that it was so high up to the sky that this could easily be a place closest to the sun, and the sun is obviously the source of all life. It's likely with a 12, you can probably guess that stuff can like grow to enormous extents here because of the constant closeness to the sun. I guess that's all you can really make out with a 12.
Photosynthesis is like out of control.
Yeah, it definitely looks out of control. I'll say that there's something else that you definitely notice as you're kind of going into battle here, and that is, it seems to be still a latent surge of some sort of magic, and it seems to be coming from that piece of masonry that's chunked into it. It's kind of giving off this kind of like strange green lightning that's crackling all over it. But here, have a full-on artwork of this thing.
Didn't we just see it grow from like a sprig?
You did, yes. That's something else that is kind of disturbing. Is 1 second ago, this was a tiny little sapling, and now it's just burst from the ground, picking up masonry as it goes. It's uprooted itself, and it continues to grow whilst it's still standing there. But Andy, you're up first if you want to do anything. You're still sort of getting across.
Yeah, she needs to finish coming across the river first.
Okay, cool. So that'll use like the rest of your movement to get there.
And she's just literally probably craning her neck up at this thing and leans over to Irene and she's just like, so what do we do about the walking tree?
I mean, chop chop. Timber.
That won't anger any weird tree gods if it's a moving tree.
I mean, I could set the thing on fire, but we're surrounded by wood. Not a good idea. We could try to sneak past before it sees us.
Okay. So how much? So she would have used what 10 foot of movement so far?
I'm gonna say because you would like shimmying across that's gonna use all your movement together.
Okay. Well, I can still use my bonus action then to dash.
Have you got that as a pro? Have you got cunning action yet?
You haven't got cunning action yet.
haven't,
That's
no.
third level.
Alright, I'm getting mixed up with her and Raven.
I could try and speak Sylvan to it.
Well,
You could just try and hide.
I can't really move from where I am right now. I'm just going to hold an action for the time being.
I mean, there's a little bush right next to you. You could probably dash, like, hide in there.
Yeah, I'll just get my bow out for now, waiting to see what this thing actually does.
Okay. All
Because
right.
it could be just a growing tree for all we know. It might not even attack.
Well, it definitely looks like it is thrashing around. I've just mentioned it's crushed down one tree as well, but it is getting bigger and bigger. Kashan, then what do you do?
Very quickly, just to confirm, did it come out with this like obelisk in its heat, or did it like grow around it and pick it up as it was growing?
It seemed like this thing came up with it as a package, as if this thing was perhaps buried deep in the dirt, and it's it's unearthed it as it's grown to this massive height. All the roots just sort of entangling everything with it.
Okay, and just a last thing for me to try and remember. Did I remember reading anything about any kind of guardians of this island?
You would definitely have heard that there are probably, like I've already mentioned, lush, overgrown places that are so wild that nothing can be really tamed. The jungle itself is likely a living creature in of itself, a whole one entity perhaps, and you got that idea from perhaps the idea that everything kind of comes together as like a unity. In the same way the two tribes came together for peace, there was the sense that the whole jungle is one in harmony with one another. However, this doesn't look quite like it's in harmony. It definitely does not look peaceful. This is not what was described in your scrolls, which is why you're kind of probably not having as much guidance in this particular scenario.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to take a step forward. I'm going to hold out my bow staff. I'm actually going to hold my action for if it comes towards us in an aggressive manner. And I'm just going to call out, "We mean no harm. We've come in search for the hidden shrine temple within the forest, within the jungle."
And what do you say this in Sylvan?
I'm going to try in Sylvan, because it's probably going to be a bit more direct. However, I know that it's... Well, language unifies everyone.
Okay.
So we'll give it a go.
Roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Heck. Persuasion. Oh, I'm good at those. Nice.
Oh no, you're not.
I say that to all of my rolls that are in the negatives, by the way.
Okay. The thrashing creature seems to make a strange response. If it were a language, well, it is a language, but it's not like words of a language. I'm gonna have you roll an insight check because it definitely replies to your remark.
Can I insight that? Because I can understand.
If you can understand Sylvan, yeah, you can roll an insight.
Oh, does that mean I can too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
10.
Oh, that's not supposed to be advantage, but yeah.
Nope.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. That one so far.
You hear a great creaking, churning of roots, and you hear the rustling of leaves. But there is an undertone, something else there. There seems to be this kind of strange elfin-like language, but it's so muffled and dense. But it doesn't even sound like they're saying words. And Llewellyn, to you, the best I can describe it is as if you just woke something up, and woke like a baby up, and it is crying, and like moaning, and yeah, like literally wah wah. That's the kind of impression you get from this thing as it's just thrashing around like a baby in its crib.
It's gonna spit out its dummy and attack us, probably.
It's throwing a tantrum. Yeah, it's effectively.
Yeah.
So that's in Kashan's go, I think.
Yes, that's going to end my turn for now.
I think we gotta kill it.
Carry.
Alright.
Definitely not baby size.
Considering it seems to have like grown and it's got like this pulsating obelisk thing, can I see if I can try to work out if like that's the cause of it being annoyed, like magically sort of thing, like an Arcana check? Or something?
Yeah, this is definitely Arcana. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not great at that, despite being a sorcerer.
Okay. The magical effects that you can see and you're witnessing right now are an incredible growth spurt of some description, probably some sort of evocation magic or some sort of life magic perhaps going on. But either way, this thing continuously grows larger and larger, and you see its roots stretching out further and further. It's It's not showing any signs of stopping just yet. Other than that, there does seem to be some sort of reaction happening with the stone obelisk, but you're unable to determine exactly what that is with a knife.
Okay. And it seemed to understand them when they were speaking Sylvan, right? It's not like the language.
It turned, yeah, I'll say that it turned towards Kashan as soon as it started saying that, but it just threw its arms around, started crashing into the ground. It's lifted itself fully out of the earth at this point and starts charging towards Kashan.
Karius just sort of looks at them and just like, so we attacking then?
I think so.
Okay, I'm gonna point at the obelisk and lightning bolt.
Oh,
A lightning bolt, alright.
try and destroy the obelisk.
It definitely gets a good clean hit on it. Rolled 25 lightning damage.
Yep.
Okay. That was 25. Alright, nice. So this lightning surges through, crackling, and it seems to make a clean hit against the obelisk, and part of the stonework definitely shatters away and crumbles. However, there is still sort of this continual growing to it. It doesn't seem like it's slowed down or stopped. And there's bits of debris left in it, but the stone obelisk is definitely destroyed for the most part.
Okay, and then why did I not have that written down? That's kind of bugged me. Do I have any other words? No, that's it for the time being for me. I'm
Okay.
just going to stand here chilling.
Alright, Novellin.
I am going to summon Arcane Hand
Okay, nice.
right above the obelisk, and I'm going to attempt to pull the obelisk out.
Well, it's mostly crumbled now. It's like bits of debris left.
Oh, is there nothing left of it?
There's bits of debris. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, so-
alright.
so-
So it's been destroyed, and there's bits of debris left. There's not
Okay.
really a full obelisk.
So for the most part, there's nothing jammed in its head anymore.
No, not really.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna to speak to it in Sylvan again and be like, "Are you okay now? Are you peaceful?"
Again, it just seems to be throwing these fists around, and as if it's experiencing some sort of incredible painful growth spurt, perhaps.
Okay, then I guess it's not the obelisk that's causing it to be like that.
I'll say you can make an Arcana check as well, as I let Karius have one.
20.
20. It looks like it's growing even faster now that the obelisk is gone.
Oh,
Oh boy.
okay then. I'm going to change my plan, and I am going to summon Furnace,
Okay. what's that?
Bernice.
the fire elemental.
Right. Oh god, yeah.
I
Okay.
see what you did
Furnace.
there. Furnace, yeah.
Chris named it. It wasn't me.
Oh really? I don't even remember that. Sure. Okay. Do you want to drag it on, or have you? Not
Some
Uh,
guys say Kiasta's a stupid name.
I haven't got control over it. Fire elemental.
There she is.
Yeah.
Right, cool. So you hold up the flaming orb aloft and pull the resins out to summon them.
Just
And
how are you doing that?
Using what is it? Conjure elemental.
That takes a minute to cast.
Does it take a whole minute?
Yeah. It's
ooh,
why I
Oh,
didn't.
never.
use- it's
Never
why I
mind.
didn't. It's why I didn't end up using it as often because I was just like, oh, I've got to work out what happened beforehand to use this.
God
sorry
damn it.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at just wall of fire. Just,
I was like, I'm guess he's just gonna wall of fire any minute.
yeah.
Because he's losing all his action. All right, go ahead. Just
God damn
drop
it.
it down. So I'll tell you a bit more information about that Arcana check. Whatever that obelisk was, it seemed to be drawing power from it. And now that you've destroyed it, it's like an inhibitor. It continues to grow and feed off whatever life-giving energy there is here. So deck save for it.
Yeah.
It fails.
Where's my wildfire? I'm just gonna do it at level 4. 18.
Nice. All right.
And yeah, it's facing inwards,
Okay.
and it yeah.
36. All right. So you see the fire wrap up all over the creature as it's literally encircled both of its feet. Starts to rise up, take like turning this thing into literally a walking bonfire at this point. However, with that, you see that it seems to slow down the growth. The vines seem to stop just stretching out anymore. However, it has definitely become even more angered, that's for sure. And it's going to rush forward out of that fire.
No. Oh God! It's... Go back in the wildfire. Go back in.
Could do that, but no, it's not going to. All right. That is.
I don't want to burn the forest down.
All right. As it runs out of the fire, you can see that it's crumpling the other trees around it, just crushing past them. And finally, it gets to here and brings down a huge fist of roots towards Kashan.
Do I have anything for that?
It's 25 to hit, actually, because of your cloak of displacement.
Yeah, that surprisingly still hits.
You take 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Jesus. Okay.
A second fist then comes down towards you, Llewellyn, and it seems to stretch and stretch until finally coming down, just landing atop your head. 17 to hit Llewellyn.
Shield.
Okay, right.
And also, that would also set off my action.
Yes, and also Angie's as well, I think.
Because you had your bow ready.
Yeah. 26 to hit.
Hit. Yeah.
10 bludgeoning. And holding an action only gives one of your attacks, doesn't it?
Alright.
But you can technically do something else with your attack.
Arrow.
Can I get a Constitution saving throw, please?
Jesus Christ. Alright, hold up. Wow.
It's stunned!
Oh wow.
So then, does that technically mean Andy gets advantage?
Yeah.
That does, yeah.
Roll again. Ha.
That's a hit.
It
8
feels like-
piercing. Okay, cool. Alright. So, Kashan jumping up and stunning this creature so hard, the whole thing just like stiffens up and sort of lurches over the top of you. Both fists landing on the ground, and Llewellyn, obviously, one of them is atop your kind of shield right now. You see the roots kind of draping around it. It's almost like made a cage.
Oh God.
Okay.
That's
Irene.
when, technically, would Andy get sneak attack on that?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll use it.
You would.
I don't want to use it.
Okay.
Sure.
Alright, Irene then.
Okay, so the obelisk seemed to be slowing it. Do I think this is some sort of curse? Like, is this poor tree end cursed?
Roll an Arcana check.
Yeah. 13.
It looks like if it was a curse, it's doing exactly what most of nature wants it to do, which is grow bigger and bigger and bigger. But fire seems to have put a stop to that. So it's kind of obeying most laws of what you understand.
So yes or no?
I can't tell you with a 13 if it's a yes or no.
Oh, that's annoying. Okay,
All I can tell you is that it looks like it's obeying normal laws of magic. Tree grow, fire stop.
there's you guys going, oh yeah, keep control of the fire, don't burn the forest down. Burn it, burn it.
No, but burn
Mm-mm.
it, not the forest.
Mm-mm.
Easier said than done, I'm afraid.
I know. I know.
Okay.
Drop concentration on this. There's no point having it up anymore.
Okay. You see there's like a crater of earth where it's lifted up.
Okay, well. So first thing I'm going to do is bonus action Hexblade Curse it.
Yeah.
Because it's sensible.
Now you know it's cursed.
Well, sarcasm gets you nowhere in life. Be quiet. And it's stunned, right, or paralyzed, whichever.
Paralyzed.
It is.
Stunned.
In which case, I am going to create one file.
Oh man.
Automatically fails that dex save, so that's
Uh.
3d8 of damage.
Okay. Roll it.
Oh god. Oh man, that's terrible rolling. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Holy crap. You just created a bonfire underneath it.
Yes, I did. It's a 5-foot bonfire.
That's amazing.
It's a 5-foot cube, I think.
Hmm.
You gain a bonus to damage rolls against the cursed target. The bonus equals your proficiency bonus, so that's a +4 to that as well.
Okay.
And I am going to move the fuck out of the way.
All right. See
I'm
the
gonna
fire.
hide in the bushes.
The fire is adding again flames to the fire. It seems to like burn away the root. It seems to start flagging over one side. Just it can't move as well, so the fire just sort of wraps up over it. Yeah, it's not looking good. We are back to the top of the round, and
Yeah, don't know if my plan's gonna work now that it's probably been now that it's been set on fire.
igniting flammable objects. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna try and soothe it with some music, but now that it's on fire, it's probably not gonna work. Because it's on fire, I can't really climb it either.
Fire dance.
Sorry.
Fire dance.
I wanna. How tall is this tree here compared to our tree and friend here?
This tree is about 20 foot. Kind of goes up to its knees.
Okay, alright. It's not high enough.
Oh my god, and we've nearly killed it?
Yeah, this thing's huge.
Alright, okay. Then I will. I'm just reading it, hold on. Then I'm gonna try and Cloud of Daggers it then.
Alright, Cloud of Daggers. Is that a dex save?
Don't know. What does it do?
It will automatically fail if it is.
Did it not roll?
There it is.
There we go.
But it doesn't actually say what it
It
is.
doesn't say what it is.
I'm just gonna say it's failed regardless. So
It's
Don't worry.
Yeah, it's been
Eight.
Daggers first.
Alright. It's failed because I rolled so low anyway. Don't worry. So you see these. What is it? What do your Cloud of Daggers look like?
probably I haven't really thought of that, to be honest.
Sure. All right.
Probably just lots of very Arabic-inspired looking hilts on daggers, very similar to the one that she actually carries herself, in various kind of like oranges and reds. That's probably all I can think of right off the top of my head. I've never used this spell before, so.
Mini
Cool,
scimitars.
It's a strange one, but it's nonetheless cutting away root after root, and you start to see the thing collapsing as you're basically cutting all its kind of tendons effectively. It starts falling, but it's still a mass of flaming vegetation. And that'll end your go, Kashan.
So my thought process with Kashan is very conflicted at the moment, because in his head he's got one side where it's like fight or flight effectively, or fight or die, and on the other side he's thinking everything in this place is meant to be at one, is meant to be like a complete circle, like
Exactly, harmony. This is a place for enlightenment, not for war.
so. Yeah. So I would like to try and say to it one last time, please, we do not wish to harm you. Stop with the war. We only wish to become unified with everyone else.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion check again with disadvantage.
Come on. Oh, we're disadvantage. I thought I clicked that. Oh, 14.
14. Not bad. If it could... Wait, there isn't any sign of it struggling, as it is continually stunned, but it is on fire. Just check, can it even speak while stunned? I don't think it can. Let's check. Can't move, can speak falteringly. So you don't hear words so much as, again, that kind of cry of pain, I guess. Yeah, definitely in pain. That's it, definitely in pain, but it's not saying anything. It's not saying words that you understand, a language. It's definitely some sort of Sylvan, but it's not a language. It's just the sounds.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to take a step in front of as much of the group as possible, and I'm just going to hold my arms out and say, stop the violence. And I'm going to end my turn there, and I'm not going to hold an action.
Okay, Karis.
Right. Karis just sort of looks at Kashan and like, right, so we're not trying to kill it then?
Oh, can I respond on my turn?
Like, to Kashan.
Am I good to respond out of turn?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sick. This place wasn't meant for war. We need to either figure out what is hurting this creature without causing it even more harm.
Could have used that information earlier.
Okay.
It's it's a stepping stone for me as well.
In that case, Carius will point. Well, his tail will swish, and then I will cast a spell and douse the flames.
Alright, yeah, that'll do it. Extinguishes exposed flames. Brilliant. Alright, that's a really good combination without if Irina ends up making too much fire. Alright, the flames are extinguished.
And then, because it doesn't seem to be quite getting the Sylvan, I'm going to try to speak to it in Terran, just because it's sort of Earth-related. But it probably won't get it. I'm just going to be like, right, don't know if you're understanding me, but stop now. We really don't want to fight.
Okay. Alright. Doesn't seem to respond in any way. Llewellyn. Oh, is it no longer stunned as well?
At the end of my turn, yeah.
Right, okay, cool.
I'm just gonna hold a cantrip. Just like Toll the Dead, probably.
If it gets hostile again.
Just in case if it gets hostile.
Okay, cool. Alright.
It gets hostile.
It starts lumbering away, pulling itself free from all the dead, flamed roots. It gets to 10 feet. Gets to about here, and again, really the only kind of language you can understand is in, I guess, in Sylvan, and it it hasn't been hit with fire. Oh yeah, no, it has been hit with fire again. It's kind of pulling its burnt roots away from itself. This turn, it seems to just be pulling them away, but it's not making any hostile actions against you. It's not like slamming its fist down anymore. It's just seemingly trying to pull itself free from its burnt exterior. And you do see the roots underneath start to grow again, this greenish color. It continues to thud its way through the forest.
Okay then.
This
It's going to end its turn after it basically dashed and just pulled itself free.
Okay.
But yeah, again, the only language you can hear is kind of like this. It's just roaring in anger and pain, having kind of a tantrum almost.
Huh. That was interesting.
What do you do, Irina?
Apologize and let it leave. That's a thing I can do, right?
You can, but just trying to get away from you guys at the moment. Seems.
I mean, if it's not attacking us.
No, not anymore. I
Oh,
think...
right, it's still cast, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Just drop that.
Okay, sure.
and then let it go.
It continues to push onwards into the distance, but it's a strange phenomenon because you're seeing it getting further away, and so you'd expect it to get smaller, except that as it gets further, it continues to grow larger.
Oh my god.
And larger. And about the point at which it disappears, it's the only reason it disappears is because it starts to climb down and underneath the island itself. You can feel tremors as it's clinging to branches and continuing to move underneath the island. But that'll end combat, and you're probably left standing there, weapons ready, not understanding what just happened.
Kashan is going to take a deep inhale, exhale, and walks over this way to where the tree ant came from.
Mm-hmm.
And in the ground, or just beside the hole, he's just going to kneel down and close his eyes, and in his head he's going to effectively apologize for the harm that we brought. We do not mean to bring war. We are only here to become unified.
Roll me an investigation check as you do this.
I'm good at those.
Oh my god.
With advantage because I'm so polite.
It's not that polite. In fact, if you've got your eyes closed and you're praying, it makes perfect sense. You're not looking at the ground. But nonetheless, you hope that the earth has heard your plea, and that no more of this will come. And sure enough, seems like the forest does seem a lot quieter than it once was. Probably because most of the animals have fled in terror. But it seems peaceful.
Yeah.
As everyone else starts to gather around the
I don't
hole.
want to peer in.
Yeah, you can roll me it's your choice, a perception or investigation check.
Oh, now you get perception
Well,
checks.
Or just investigation, actually, because you're not actually seeing anything. This is more investigation, actually.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
Okay, alright. So, there is nothing in the hole. There's no, like, weird stuff you can spot or anything like that. It's, in fact, a distinct lack of any sort of sign that this thing was in some sort of cursed plot or land. It looks just as fertile as the rest of this soil. It could have been any one of these trees, in fact. It just sort of had this growth spurt. However, Irina, this makes sense as you've worked with many magical items before. And I'm gonna have a whisper for you. 1 second. How do I just... Yeah, okay.
In fact, shall we just talk this out while you're...
Yeah.
It depends if Irina wants to, yeah.
Oh, no, as in while
No,
you're...
then while I'm reading this.
Yeah. Well, sorry about all that, Kashan. I didn't mean to trigger a battle. I thought the obelisk might be the problem, so I thought destroy that. Maybe it will help, but may have made things worse. Possibly.
Kashan kind of opens his eyes after finishing his short meditation and looks up to him before raising to his feet, and he places a hand on Karis's shoulder. It's perfectly fine. Unfortunately, back where we all come from, we are also quick to jump to violence. Here is another matter. I think either diffusing or repelling is better than a straight-on assault with any creatures that come our way. I know there are many dangers here, but I don't think killing them is going to add to the natural circle of life here.
Carius thinks about this for a moment and goes, so scaring them off or maybe temporarily trapping them whilst we proceed?
Well,
Or just scaring them off, or just trying not to, if anything, just trying to talk our way out of it, I suppose.
Well, I still don't know the true ins and outs. The only reason why I wanted to stop is because it was in pain, and I can only imagine it's due to whatever happened to it before we decided to attack. And so I think if we get into a situation where we see a potential threat, we just need to assess it and find out maybe its true intentions. If it means harm to us, then we still need to defend ourselves. But we need to think of a positive outcome rather than a negative.
That makes sense. I'll do
I'm
my
glad
best.
it does to somebody because I'm still trying to work this one out.
Yeah, ain't we all? Generally more at home when the sea's nearby, so kind of probably about as far away from the sea as I can get at the moment.
Yes, I'm used to a bit more of a built-up scenario myself, so I know the feeling.
Alright.
What do you make of this? Oh, sorry, feel free.
Sorry. No, you literally see Irina. She kind of like she's like basically clawing onto the side, leaning all the way into this hole, and she kind of reaches down and she picks something up and sort of studies it for a moment, and then she comes back up. But then whatever was in her hand is kind of like powdered, and it's just sort of. So interesting moment. That thing grew from a bean.
A what?
A bean. You know, you eat them. They grow plants.
A bean.
Yeah. But it's not a normal bean. It came from an artifact that's called a bag of beans. They're essentially magical.
Really? Yeah.
Oh.
I've never heard of these beans. What do they do? Well, I assume that. So that thing wasn't natural?
Well, I mean, beans are natural, but a bean from a bag of beans is like magical? Out of character, I have no idea.
Cool. That suits it kind of in a weird way.
Out of character, I think I know.
You know, Jack and the Beanstalk, he plants the seed, it grows overnight, it's huge.
Who is this Jack? Is he part of this magic beans?
No, Jack is like a kid whose mother wanted him to sell the cow because the cow was like dying and they needed the money, so he went, but he foolishly traded it for like magic beans instead, and his mother got mad, threw them out the window. Beanstalk grows, he goes up there, finds his fortune, and yeah, became rich.
Perhaps Mr. Jack lives up here.
I mean, it's an island in the sky, but be warned, there were giants.
Well,
Maybe there is giants.
Well,
That thing was a giant.
A giant tree.
Ooh.
so did you get everything that I sent to Carius?
Yeah, I know, no violence. Look, I panicked. I'm sorry. I don't normally have better control than that.
Once again, it's a natural thing to all of us because at the end of the day, everything that happens back where we kind of like looks around at everyone, where we've all come from. Everybody is too quick to jump with actions than they are words. So perhaps we can try a bit more of a passive approach. If something comes at us like full force, then of course I don't wish to put you all in harm's way.
As you say that, Kishan, you suddenly hear an explosion of fire in the distance.
I think we need to start going this way.
As you're talking about peace and harmony, you suddenly see in the distance a blue flame erupt.
That one was not me.
Not coming from the tree end. Okay.
No, it's south from where you are along the trail. And I'll say, as you kind of go along it, to sort of get a better view, you do see there is a campfire of some sort roaring with blue fire, and it seems to have caught a branch of a nearby tree, and now that is set afire as well with this roaring blue flame.
No. Okay, help me put this out. Help me put this out.
oh,
I make fire, I don't put it out.
That-
Arius,
that's-
do something.
does
Just
the
dump
fire
it.
look magical
enough?
because it's blue?
I mean, normal fire is not blue, so yes, I would say.
Technically, if it burns hot enough, it is. But
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
Going off what Irina said before, can I do an Arcana check on this?
Yeah, sure. Do another Arcana check. Nonetheless, though, yeah, it definitely looks like a strange magical phenomena. It's something like that, akin to perhaps like a wild magic surge. That's what you can best determine right now, Llewellyn. As for you, Carius, the fire is definitely blue and seems to have sprouted from nowhere, but your water is magical. You could always give it a shot. Try to.
yeah, I again create destroy water over it. Try to pull it out.
Okay. It does extinguish. And Carius again lets loose 10 gallons of water on top of it. Simmering.
Do we have like? Oh, sorry. Do we hear like a scream of pain from the fire or something? Is that now sentient?
Nope, not this time. Just
I'm
straight-
paranoid as fuck, man.
We've been here like 10 minutes, Kashan. These islands are rather intriguing.
I know, and I think I'm now gaining anxiety. This place is. It's been a long time coming, and I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And I'm gonna start walking down south and
Sure.
step over the fire.
You see that there is a set of logs and twigs, which weren't there before because you could see the trail ahead of you. But now it looks like there was a makeshift campfire that has just sprouted out of nowhere. It's still simmering. You can see some of the ash there as well, like a pile of ash.
Does it look like normal grey ash?
Roll me an investigation check.
Why do I keep on asking the questions I want to find the answers to?
Can I
Speaking of two.
this?
Looks like normal ash. Can't really discern anything more than that. Yes, anyone else can sift through it as well if you want.
Yeah, I could imagine Carius just sort of looking at Arena. It's like, it's fire, your department.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, just let me look at this.
Okay, Llewellyn starts sifting through the ash.
I just ignore the fact that Irina got a 27. Llewellyn starts sifting through.
Well, yes, but he's kind of like, meh, 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 sort of like slapping it apart, and you're like, no, 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 this is how you look through, and you can carefully like sift it through your hand.
I literally just shove Llewellyn away by the face. Get out of the way!
Nearly face palm cursed.
And Irina, you definitely find a similar little casing of some sort once again. It seems to be burnt and way though, charred. Like before, same as before, but it's all charred up.
Do I get the feeling someone's just taken the bag of beans and just gone, wee?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Let's go
Okay.
through.
Let me guess. Another bean.
What? The good news is, I know what caused this. The bad news is, I know what caused this. So, the bean situation. You know when you like try to empty your bag out and you just give it a shake and everything goes flying everywhere? Picture beans
I mean,
in an unruly garden.
I thought I would have thought they'd have to be buried. Surely they don't just work on the surface, right? They're plants.
Yeah, but if you look at how quickly everything here is thriving, there's a good chance the ground just went whoop.
Sometimes I hate magic.
Can I, like, shuffle around the floor to see if I can find any more of these? Like, beans?
You can, yeah. Roll me a survival check or a or an investigation, either one.
I mean, I know which one I'm taking. You gave me the choice.
Yeah, how are you searching? Just sort of foraging, looking around, checking the ground, that kind of thing.
Like, judging from where the hole was, where this fire is, I'm just gonna sort of crawl around.
Hmm.
You know, like when pigs look for truffles?
Yeah.
Like, she's doing
You
Between-
find, the only thing you find nearby is a bird dropping.
Between now and our destination, Irina just crab crawls looking at the
Yeah.
It's fresh. Like, it's 100% fresh. Like, it's just popped out.
Can I see the bird anywhere?
You look around for any birds. It seems like all of them have fled the scene of the crime. Well, say crime.
Guys, we scared this bird shitless.
The only one bird you see in the nearby vicinity is the raven, probably on Llewellyn's shoulder.
These beans, they're magic, right?
Yes.
Could be perhaps. I sort of look to Llewellyn, being the person who taught me this spell. Do you think we can maybe spot them with that detect magic thing?
Probably. Should we take 10 minutes and pop it?
It's worth a try.
Sure. We
And
both
hope we don't get blinded by magic all around us.
we both sit down and like start drawing the runes. And I start to like, just help him out as he goes.
My first
Okay.
time ritually casting this spell.
You're ritually casting Identify.
Detect magic.
Oh, detect magic. Okay.
Yeah, we both
I
are.
want to see if we can find the aura of the beans.
Aura of them. Okay. You see that there are definitely latent magic in the area. Conjuration near here, near there, but it seems like it's fading, like it's expended and no longer active. As you look for a similar sign of conjuration around, you look across the rest of the party and all their gear and items. Nothing's really picking up conjuration. But I'd like Carius to roll me just a perception check. Flat.
Okay.
I think anything short of a natural 20 is not gonna. Yeah, okay. You don't seem to see anything that, like, is a trace, or what was you saying? Something that leads to it? Yeah, like a similar aura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Llewellyn see anything? Because he was also casting, I believe.
That's right, Llewellyn. What do you see?
Technically, you'd see the raven giving off conjuration because it is
And my-
conjuration.
Oh, that's true. Yes, the raven. Yes. The
And my
only other
pseudo
thing is the
dragon.
raven. And I guess Carius and everyone at this point, as Carius is looking over and like looking at the raven because it's the only thing that gives off a sign. Everyone can roll me an insight check.
So does Carius's what's it called? Was it
Pseudo
the-
dragon.
Yeah. To be fair.
Irina's just staring it out.
And okay. I'd do it. Hold on. So as you're looking around, that was an insight, by the way, Llewellyn. Oh yeah, it was. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Why wouldn't I roll an insight?
Okay. Hold on. What? Okay. So didn't roll it. 1 second. Serious?
I'll be back in a second.
Hold on. Didn't just type that. All right. Sorry, there's weird things going on. Anyway, you're looking around, and no, you can't find any conjuration. No signs of where it's come from, what did this, or anything. In fact, everyone's kind of stumped. Oh wait, that's better. Does it have any pluses? No. Cool. All right. So except for Kishan, I think Kishan's the only one who rolled high enough. Everyone else. Poop. Kishan, you can look around all you like. However, the raven seems like it's looking side to side, kind of shrugging its shoulders, I guess.
Well, at least rituals don't take much magic, they just take time. Shall we continue on and deal with and try not to get too bean boozled as we go?
Sorry, all I heard when I came back is Kashan rolled high enough.
Yeah, everyone's looking around stumped, effectively, as to what was doing this. And as you're looking left to right, the raven is also looking left to right, in feigned confusion, I guess.
Is the raven pooping out the beans?
Can my raven do that?
How do you check?
Can familiars poop? Curious.
Is there a bean in the poop?
Yes, familiars can poop, I'm gonna say.
Yes.
It's canon.
Though Taklo tends to do his business elsewhere, you know.
Does Taklo poop beans?
No.
Huh.
But you're
I'm gonna find a stick and poke the poop, see if I find a bean.
There's no bean in the poop.
I mean, your raven's fairly recent, and it was conjured up near here. Maybe that affected it.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry, and I'll pop it to the ethereal realm.
Okay, sure. I swear the raven gives you a wink, Kashan, as it disappears into the realm. And that's gonna end
Castellius?
that whole mystery. Back to the main story. You,
I think Jamie was the only one who heard that.
you can hear there is like cannon fire coming from the ship below, like.
Wait, cannon fire.
Yeah, from your ship. You're not too far from it. And suddenly you start to see, wings of a blue dragon descending down, and you see Zaf looking around like, what is going on? We saw smoke. We thought we'd fire a warning shot, see if it scared something away.
Would you believe magic beans?
I can believe a lot of things when it comes to magic.
Yeah.
But, you're all okay? You're safe?
As safe as we get in a jungle where magic beans sprout out of nothing.
Right,
Don't know about anyone else.
I see. You see atop the dragon, several figures jump off from the wings. You see, first of all, Randa, and
I throw it back down.
oh yeah, of course you are. And secondly, you see Lime jump off as well. So I'm gonna shove them up top side. Where are they? There they are. These two are over here. To the front. There they are.
Hey.
They jump off and they're like, "What was all that racket then?"
None of your beeswax.
Well, kind of is. If you're up here, we need to know you're safe.
I'll step forward.
Captain's orders and all that.
We are all fine. We had a little run-in with a treant, but we're all safe. Thank you for the captain's concern.
Oh. All right then. He kind of looks around and takes in the vast jungle environment. This place looks full of tropical things. Hey, Lane, sniff about, would you? You see, he kind of starts looking around and starts sniffing the tracks. The trail, so to speak.
Are you going to be accompanying us?
We're just having a little gander. But you can see Lime is already got a scent right now. And he does indeed like start sniffing. He's like, yes, small, furry things. He looks around. What? Ugh.
Just looks at Kashan.
No, not you. And looks down. I'm not sure what they are, but they look like I don't know. Oh, furry bears. That's the best I can tell. They smell like a bear. Or maybe a wolf. Or a raccoon. Or is it a fox? It's somewhere in that sort of...
Those are a lot of categories to cover.
So, an animal.
Cat? No, definitely not cat. You smell cat. This smells like...
He said categories. Not cats.
Cat is a slang term.
Whatever it is, it's not wild. And he goes over to some nearby branches and pulls them down and points to them. They have weapons. And you can see that several of the branches have been chopped, like clean with machetes or something.
You think that the things that left these tracks were...
Intelligent, yes. Intelligent enough to make crude weapon.
And standing on two legs, bipedal?
Yes. Kind of like raises his eyebrow. Seems like they can also go on fours.
Can I think of anything like this?
Yeah, can...
Other than the things he said, I'm gonna say no. Bears, foxes. No, well, foxes don't go on the hind. Bears are basically the closest things. What he kind of said to begin with. Raccoons as well, I guess.
Any other kind of animal...
Anthropomorphic.
Thank you, Anthro.
Yeah. I'm gonna say just off the top of your head, that are the two things that most come to mind.
Gotcha.
Because he's already kind of determined that himself in that 15.
Man, pig. Very well. I mean, do the... Just out of curiosity, do the tracks have any kind of stances? Do they... I know it's a bit vague, but do they seem aggressive from their tracks?
No, looks like they were traveling. Perhaps hunting. Yes.
So
Looks like they were
don't-
dragging something.
So they don't seem feral, per se.
I smell fish.
Oh.
Kind of looks around. Perhaps they were fishing? I'm not sure.
I'll turn to the rest of the group. I don't get it. I thought there were only two types of people that lived up here. There was only the elves and the gnomes. But I haven't read anything about another civilization, or at least another group of people that could be living up here.
If they're one with the nature, druids, they can shift, right?
Not quite. I mean, once again, by the writings, it just seemed like tribesmen. I mean, I'm sure they all had their specialities, but I'm not sure in terms of shape-shifting or anything like that.
Well, why don't we do this? If they're hunting, why don't we gather some things, follow the tracks, and if we spot them, we can approach them as, oh, here's a gift. Let's be friends.
Yeah, let's catch some fish.
That would actually be good. once again, and I know I keep on repeating this phrase, but everyone here lives in unity. So we need to become one with everything. So maybe coming in with some form of trade, that would be something good, almost like a peace offering. Just saying,
Right.
you know, we are here from out of lands, however, we want to be one with you all. So that would be good. But what what do we have to offer?
Fish.
I
It
mean,
looks
we,
like there's plenty of things to hunt. He looks around. Many creatures,
Well, they were hunting the fish, right?
More fish.
perhaps. Bigger fish, yes. Why not?
I don't think we should be shooting down their birds or killing their animals unless they do the same. They might sort of be the, you know, take what you give. I don't really.
That's the thing. I'm not too sure what is going to be seen as offensive in this land, and I don't know what kind of creatures have sentience to a certain extent. That's why I was hesitant with the tree ant, because I don't
treant?
know.
You didn't say anything about a treant.
I
we
mentioned about the tree ant
Right at the beginning.
right at the beginning.
You had said something about magical.
We said we had a run in with a tree ant, but it's fine.
Those were
Yeah.
my exact words. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it written down.
you need to maybe get some of the air out your hair. I know you're a dwarf.
I'm gonna head to the river where I saw the fish, and I'm just gonna grab some. Would I be able to automatically grab 5 rations with my wanderer background?
Well, yeah, you don't automatically have. It doesn't like fish don't jump out and go, "Oh, you're a wanderer."
Take
Yeah,
me.
yeah. You know what I mean?
But yes, I get what you're saying.
says-
Mechanically speaking, yeah. Sure. I'll say that you can head over to the stream and start fishing.
Yeah.
See if you do a better job than to turn in the Feywild, eh?
Uh,
So, you kind of head over to that small stream. Randa looks. Well, if it's a gathering mission you're on, I have a little helpful task you could help me with as well. Look, I think we all got off on the wrong foot here. He's kind of looking towards you, Irina. I noticed you like your liquor. Have you got through that bottle the captain gave you?
Maybe.
Well, that's gonna be a problem, isn't it? Because,
I
We
can
don't
live
wanna be-
without alcohol.
well, I for one don't want to be drinking coconut milk for all my time here.
Good for you.
No, I'm saying I don't want to drink that shite. What
Yeah.
we're gonna do is we're gonna make
When
some.
does what you want matter
Stop
to?
talking over me. Listen, we're gonna make some alcohol together, and you're gonna love it.
potatoes.
Right. What you need for your booze? If you, I suppose we should be helpful. You got us here.
Right. We're gonna need oranges, bananas, papayas, all the fruit you can find, basically, and I'll ferment it.
That
Oh,
actually
still.
sounds really good.
So, whilst you're having your little foraging, if you find any of those particular types of fruit, let me know. Bring them down, or toss them down. And, because, you know, life's tossed me a couple of lemons plenty of times. But, you don't really know me very well, but my surname, it's Steinhammer. And I come from a long line of dwarves that are very, very adept at making liquor. It keeps the crew happy as well.
Well, I didn't know we were stood in front of royalty.
Steinhammer of the Steinhammer Ales.
That's the one. Not quite royalty, but we
I-
definitely.
I walk over to him, and I put my hands on my shoulder, and I go, "How do you know about the multiverse?"
Full circle.
I want to stunning
Oh, you
strike.
creeped me
Propeller.
out. Hold on. Yes, we are the 12th best ale in the multiverse. It's true.
Wait, what? The multiverse is a thing?
Aye, lad, it's real. And our ale goes far and wide.
And yet you travel on a boat.
Look, I say I may be of them, but I'm not actually running the store, am I? That's all the way back in Veldredor.
Wait, are you one of those sort of magic shops that's sort of like there one day, then you come back the next week and it's gone?
Kind of. Well, they ship it out, but not on actual ships like these. More like using portals and that kind of fancy business. But
Okay.
the secrets of my clan have definitely stuck with me, and I know how to make a good, fine liquor. So to keep the crew happy down there, because they're wasting away in this heat, let's get some booze cooking, eh? And fast. Nothing like sustaining a thirsty expedition with alcohol.
I'm just gonna ask because it's gonna bug me otherwise. Is it offensive if we bring back kiwis and limes?
That's
Nonsense.
actually a fair question.
I'd take that as a compliment. Lime,
But-
I got my name because everything I make has a pinch of lime.
Ah. Well, it certainly gives it a bit of zest.
So does that mean that his friend is always on desserts because everything has kiwi?
You're kind of out there, but
Hmm?
try that again.
What?
Cameron, you keep going really, really quiet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me just try and sort that
You're
one
good
out.
now. You're good. Don't tell another.
Kashan,
Well,
stop
okay.
walking away when you're talking. Come
I'm
back.
sorry, I don't know what you mean. So I say, so does that mean that his friend is always on the pudding station because he always makes everything with kiwi?
Kiwis are green, right?
Kiwis are also a type of bird with a really long nose.
Yeah. They call him kiwi because he's always green with envy. Yeah.
That actually does explain quite a bit.
Aye.
No,
But,
that does, yes.
Regardless, we spotted some on the way over here on Zaf here. We did spot looks like some sort of wild growth to the east. Seems laden with fruit. It's much too high for me to reach as a dwarf, but look for some good strong vines and see if you're able to shake down some of that fruit, eh?
Pretty
Bring
good.
me whatever you find. We'll make use.
All right.
And I'm sure Lime here is helping you. Big old, what was it you were saying? Offerings of peace. UTC Lime has already come over and he's got he's got a short bow and he's like aiming arrows into the water and sniping some fish.
Oh, cool.
No,
I mean,
He's helping the villain forage effectively.
I might actually help out with that because I could probably like reach in and stunning strike fish,
With
freeze
his
them out of the water.
Yeah, stun a fish and just like
I just kind of like go, boom.
Carius just sort of looks and goes, "That's how you guys fish with like bow and arrow."
How do you-
However, the only things you get, I'm going to say, as you're trying to forage and Lime's also helping, and Kashan, you start wading into the water and trying to stun these fish. You look around and there seems to be only a sign of like one or two, and you do get them, no problem. But Lime's like, looks like their previous venture may have steered them upriver.
Well, I
We'll have to-
mean, I'm sure we'll be able to travel further down and find more. I doubt this is the only river in the nearby vicinity.
Indeed. We'll have to go deeper though. Yes?
Or should we follow the river directly?
Yeah, we could do that. Follow the river directly up.
Sure. as that happens, it does happen to go east as well.
Because you never know, we might end up wandering upon a pond or no, a lake or something.
I'm just gonna look at Andy. You wanna go pick some fruit?
Okay. I mean, half the stuff that you guys have been saying, she has no clue.
Well, she knows what fruit is.
She knows what fruit
Let's go
is,
pick
yeah,
some
but all this like papaya and whatever, she's just like, these are all new words. I have no idea what's going on right now.
I
Yeah,
was
but
drawing out the fruit. I was
Yeah.
drawing out the fruit for you.
So she's probably just been standing there, just like, yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys talk. She's literally a fish out of water right now. But yeah, she'll go help you find fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Karis will also join
Split
fruit
the
gathering
party.
people.
Split the
Well, the
party.
river goes east, so we're all going together, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if Zaf says, if you need a ferry back down to the boat, just let loose a signal, something like a lightning bolt. That will help.
I could send the Raven to let you know.
Yes, certainly. All right, keep your eye out for some fruit, and kind of nods. And line begins to go upriver with you guys. So, as you're traveling,
Chris, very quickly, break a half past.
oh yeah, we'll do that in about 8 minutes.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So then, guys, as you're making your way up river, you start to see it kind of widen, and there looks to be a sign of like a called like a not a grove, but it's it definitely looks like a wild growth of what's it called? Yeah, tropical looking fruit and plants, and you can see all these kind of colors up in the canopy above you. Ripe fruit of all kinds. And I'd like you guys to, well, describe to me how you're going to get them down from there. Or how you're going to forage for them.
Well, first things first, since we know that the tree thing's speaking Sylvan, usually that means, and obviously unity with the environment, I'm going to give thanks for the bounty that we're about to collect and thank the trees, as you do.
Sure. Trying to be as druid-like as possible.
Yeah, essentially. I've been wandering for a while, so it's you learn things.
Can I...
Um,
Oh, God.
You think you can climb that? Give it a shake.
Probably.
Backflips.
Yep. Kind of like circle round first, trying to judge the best way up before climbing.
Sure. There's lots of draping vines that seem to be hanging all the way down to the floor. You could use those to climb up.
Yep.
Okay.
So you just mix our way up.
Sure. Roll me athletics or acrobatics. If you can swing your way up. And also, as you're doing that, I'd also like you to roll me a d8, Andy.
Okay. 6.
6. Okay, cool. So as you're pulling up on the vine, you're able to sort of swing yourself up, no problem. And as Andy's kind of jostling the branches, you start to see a number of these bananas. Some big bunches seem to like fall down and land on the floor. Some of them get a bit bruised, but Andy, you're easily able to make it all the way to the top. And you can see a number of different bananas all hanging there, ready for the picking.
You should probably fashion her cloak into like a pouch to be able to load that up.
I'll be like
Yeah.
standing at the bottom ready to catch anything you throw as well.
Okay. All right.
She won't weigh herself down too much, otherwise, it's just going to be difficult to come down again.
Yeah. Yeah, you can roll me sort of basic forage for these.
Roll a what?
A survival check.
Survival.
Mm-hmm.
Survival.
Yeah, she's good at survival.
She's very good at survival. What?
Oh.
Jeez.
Damn. Okay. You're able to get bunches and bunches.
Survival.
What's...
Bear Grylls up in here.
Yeah, apparently.
Drink your pee.
Ew.
Yeah, as you're able to get bunches and bunches of things down, you can see Andy's continuously like hoisting these bunches down to you guys. You're able to catch them as they're all coming down, and you start to hear like a bit of a commotion in the branches. Sounds like kind of monkey noises. They're sort of like screaming and howling at you as you keep on taking more and more of these
Well,
bananas.
it's not going to take like everything.
I was going to say, we're not going to take more than we need.
Sure. Unless these monkeys seem to be not having. Well, they don't understand that, but they start to come over towards you, Andy, like hopping from branch to branch. And as they hop towards you, notice that they don't rely on just their dexterity to make it through the branches of the canopy. You actually see there are little wings on either side of their.
Fly, monkeys.
Yeah,
Fly, my pretties, fly.
they are, and they start like pulling at your rope, and some of them like slapping you on the top of the head like a drum.
I was
And
going to start chucking the bananas to
Then-
the monkeys. So she's, going to share them.
Sure. Nonetheless, I'm going to have them roll a series of sleight of hand checks as these monkeys find a number of different funny, strange things upon your person. So,
Oh no.
have a look. Oop, oop. See, I think 2 of them beat your passive perception. As one of them starts drumming on your little tambourine, you realize obviously it's trying to like yank at it and snatch it away from you. It seems highly entertained by your tambourine, but you're able to like grab a hold of it before it like snatches. The bananas come free from your grasp and land on the floor beneath you, and you can see up top that Andy is struggling with these pesky, albeit cute monkeys, and they're like,
Oh.
Okay, they are pretty damn cute.
I think more than you want to try and play with them rather than, fight them.
Okay, one of them jumps away, and you see he's got in each hand 2 little owlbear feathers, and he's hopping away distance. Another
Kill
one's
them
grabbed the
all.
X-ray shirt.
What?
I
He's putting
would
on-
like to mage hand to grab that if it's stealing her item.
Yeah, sure, you can mage hand. Let's see, shall we have a contested check here?
Yeah. Jeez.
Let's see, I guess athletics.
Athletics.
Yeah, for the mage hand though, so just roll me a d20.
I mean, my thing is 0 anyway.
Okay, I'm trying to grab a hold of it. Got a
Oh
14.
man.
Yeah, that's right. You got a 16. It beats the 14.
Phew.
So as he's running away, you're able to. Because he doesn't suspect it. He thinks it's away, and he's got off scot free. But then a mage hand suddenly plucks each feather from his hands. He's like,
Oh no, I was going for the shirt, not the owl feathers. I've got those.
oh, that's pretty bad.
Those already.
There's more, but the shirt is actually on the monkey itself, and he's like stuffed it over his kind of shoulders, and he's looking down. He's like, he's like pointing at his ribs.
Do I
He's
see
like
that?
screaming.
Do I see this?
Yes, you see this.
And I know what the X-ray shirt is because I've seen Britannia use it.
He would not see his ribs, he'd be invisible. His chest would be invisible.
Cool. So in that case, you just see the top half and the bottom half of the monkey, like the legs and arms.
Right,
And
I'm
he's
gonna
screaming.
arcane hand to grab the monkey and drag it towards us.
Oh my god.
Arcane hand.
Oh
Fifth
my
level
god.
spell.
Alright,
Isn't
roll me
arcane
a...
hand
I
like
could just fly up.
God damn. Roll me a quick arcana. No, what is it? You have to roll something.
Clench your fist hands. No, it's clench
Then-
fist.
Grab.
Grasping hand that attempts to grapple a huge or small creature within 5 feet. Use the hand's strength score to resolve the grapple.
Of course, just like a grapple check. Cool. So roll its athletics. Or its strength. It has.
So it's D20 plus.
It's gonna try and get out.
Oh, what the hell? It didn't do it. Oh, that's why. D20
I think you've got him regardless.
plus 8.
I mean,
It's plus 8, so.
Oh yeah. This monkey's more freaked out looking at the X-ray shirt, and suddenly the huge arcane hand grabs a hold and it's like, oh! Ah! And pulled down towards you.
Bring it towards me, and while it's grasped, I unclothe it of the shirt.
The whole while it's scratching at your face, Llewellyn. And it tries to bite you. A 13, that's gonna be a miss. It tries to bite into your hands as you're able to get it, but its teeth clearly aren't sharp enough to pierce past your robe.
I'm just like, the minute we've got her items back, I'm just like, I want
Just-
to with the monkeys.
I'm just looking at it like, I thought this was Tan's. And then I just shout up, "Did you steal this?"
It looks up at you. Like that.
No.
No, not the monkey. I mean to Andy.
He gave it to me.
Oh. Okay. I'll
Trying to play with these monkeys, so offering them bananas and all that lot.
Karish just sort of looks up at the monkeys and just like, I wonder if they can swim.
Yeah.
I'm
And then
going to
I,
look up to Carius and say, no. No.
It's
I-
a lethal spell. I was just going to hold him in place.
I drag the monkey away and then I let it go.
Okay, cool.
I stopped mimicking the one that I was
Sure.
trying to make.
Several of the monkeys are freaked out seeing this giant hand like moving around. But the one that you've kind of manhandled and got the shirt off of, as it's running away from you, Llewellyn, roll me a first. Actually, no, I'm just going to say you can see it as he's running away. He seems to have his hands. He's like, and he flies up into the air.
Have what? You cut out.
Yeah, you cut out.
Got a statue of a goat in his hands, and he's flying away with it.
Wait, with a 12.
With a what?
With a 12.
No.
Well, he was grasped. Would that not have been a disadvantage?
Well, he rolled a natural 20, buddy. So
Yeah, but a disadvantage.
hand, not to get out of the hand. He may
Yeah.
have been. He may have been.
Right?
I mean, to take the shirt off him whilst he's gripped, you'd have to loosen the grip.
Right. Well,
He's got your goat. Do something about it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'd drag him back then.
He's flying.
I'd drag him
How fast can your hand move?
60 feet.
Holy crap! That's faster than a dashing flying monkey. Damn. All right. Okay, sure. You can make me another check.
Jesus.
Make another strength. Oh.
Can we not keep playing this game? I said to the monkey.
The monkey looks like really upset with himself at this point now. Oh.
Oh.
He kind of just hands you the goat back.
I'm going to do something kind of nice for the monkey at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get some water from my flask, and I'm going to use shape water to freeze it into a replica of the goat statue and give it to the monkey.
Oh.
He's suddenly excited, jumps up and down and claps his hands. He grabs a hold of the statue and he's like, oh! It looks like he's not used to the cold. In fact, he's probably never seen ice in his life. And then he like pokes it a moment and then licks it. Let's see if
It will be slightly salty.
He's definitely got a tongue stuck on the ice sculpture. He doesn't seem to mind. He lifts up with it, and starts flying with his head stuck to it.
It'll last for an hour.
I give him a peacock feather as well, as like a sign of friendship.
Oh, okay. He kind of like pushes it into his wings and starts like flying up. It gives him definitely a distinguishable mark from the rest of his little clan here, and all of the others are like looking at him with like a reverence, and he's like, "Oh!" Got his arms on his hips, as if he's now the leader. But yeah, nonetheless, you've got an abundance of bananas at the end of this little encounter.
Kashan's just smiling, looking over all of his friends, like doing their best to make peace with everything. He's just kind of smiling.
All right.
I love the shape water cantrip. It's so much fun.
That's actually cool. Yeah, it's awesome. So a little further on, you guys see a hue of orange in the branches, and Lion points them out and is like, "Ah, yes, these are the ones as well. We'll need some of these. Can't just have banana. Yeah. Banana flavored alcohol. In fact, banana's overpowering. It'll just taste of banana with just. I said banana too many times. Just get some oranges."
I'll climb up this time.
Okay.
Aren't you glad we didn't say banana?
Shut up.
So you climb up, no problem. No even need for a check. But you can roll me a d8 as you get to the top.
These random effects that are happening depending on what we roll.
Depends what's up in the branches. Yeah.
Oh,
8.
Ooh.
Okay. Llewellyn, I'll need you to make me a perception. Sorry, not Llewellyn. Just Kashan, because you're up here in the canopy. And you definitely get some oranges as you're going. Cool. Of course, I rolled a 1. As you're picking these juicy, ripe oranges, you hear something rustling. It sounds like more like a trinket, kind of rattling, and as you look around here, you've got dark vision, and the canopy is quite thick. Although it's still during the day, it's quite like dark up here because everything's sort of shrouded underneath. And you suddenly see in the trees themselves. I could have had to have rolled a natural 1 because these things look indistinguishable from branches, and it's almost like spotting an insect as suddenly a little bit of the twigs and branches slightly, and then as you kind of like squint to see what you're actually looking at, you suddenly see like a head pull away from the tree as if the bark has become a separate entity from the tree itself, and then it looks at you and you see a face in the tree.
As in like a face part of the tree?
You're unsure. It's that moment where you see sort of like a creature that's camouflaged and you can't tell where it begins and where it ends. You can see a face looking at you and you can hear it kind of like moving.
I could just imagine Kashan kind of like with oranges in arms, like orange in the mouth, like.
You give a little wave and it kind of like tilts its head, confused at you, and then it puts its finger up to its lips, its kind of viney looking lips, and then it starts to slowly back away out of the tree, and as it's moving you start to see the form. It's a humanoid, slender like figure. Its skin seems to be made of leaves, and it blended in perfectly up here in the canopy. Some of its kind of like elbows and joints seem to be like bits of bark, and its hair is like this mesh, this kind of tangled mesh of roots and twigs. And as it kind of like backs away slowly, it then seemed to grab something from a pack, like from like the back of itself. But would what looked like a pod of like leaves and branches. It's actually some sort of like equipment pouch, and it quickly pulls out a vine and then begins to let itself down, and then swings away and into the tree line itself.
Do anyone else see what that is?
No, because this is all happening high up and in the canopy.
But he just
And-
came down and
Well, it swung away. Like as it backed out, it kind of got away from any view of you guys and then swung into the distance.
I'll just kind of like keep looking where it was for a moment or two, just kind of like still before climbing back down, giving the bounty. So we aren't alone here, and I don't mean about the monkeys.
Huh.
I saw what seemed to be a humanoid up in the tree.
Didn't you already know there was people here?
Yes, but I wouldn't have thought that we would have spotted them at this point. And just one thing to note, they're very well camouflaged, so I think the best thing to note is that we are being watched and potentially followed, but they didn't strike at me, so once again, let's just keep to the passive route.
Alright. Yeah, whatever it was, it seemed to be some reason behind. And you get a whole bunch of oranges and papayas whilst you're up there as well. Probably this will be enough to easily make a brew at this point. Yeah. So at this point, all that's left is, all right, just need to find a big fish, right?
A big fish? Sure. I thought we were just going for many fish.
Could do. But this river looks like it's got some big fish. And you can see he's like pointing out. And sure enough, you do see like big splashes in the river that's sort of widened up at this point.
Can I... Is this still within the minute? Since the
Of your
monkeys-
arcane.
Yeah.
Oh no. Your
Okay.
flying monkey thing was like a long time ago. Because you moved up river again to try and find more
No worries, just checking.
fruit.
Yeah, let's go for big fish. Need to get fish anywhere, so why not go for the big ones?
Sure. Okay. All right. Then, as you kind of seeing this water, a little way off, you can see a bit more like thrashing, as if perhaps it's like caught something and it's wrestling with it underwater. It says, it looks strange.
Not now, thank you.
Hope it's not an alligator. That would be a pain to deal with. Who's going in the drink then?
I mean,
I can stop the fish moving.
how deep is the water?
It gets pretty deep, like deep enough that you could swim underneath.
Would you say it is more than 90 foot deep?
Oh no. Not that deep.
Okay, let me just.
Somewhere like 25 foot deep, more like. That's still really deep. to be
Then
honest.
can I attempt to use watery sphere to just surround them all and lift them up, up to the land?
That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, you could actually. Yeah, sure. Let's say you do this. All right. Is it a save, right? There is a save involved.
Yeah, any creature must make a strength save.
Okay, got it. All right, got it. So let's have a look.
And if it's huge or larger, it succeeds automatically.
Oh god, not with a 6. It's not gonna. All right, so Carius, you step to the water's edge, begin conjuring this huge watery sphere, and lo and behold, you start to pull out this enormous fish that's just like wriggling with powerful fins. And as you pull it up and out of the water, you see this creature with a very long, sharp kind of mouth. It looks almost like prehistoric. You're not quite sure. It doesn't look like a fish you've ever recognized, but yeah, have a little closer look at this. Loading for him?
Yep.
For him.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, this thing's massive. It's like easily a large creature.
Good catch.
And it's still like wriggling around. It's not obviously dead or at all, but it's thrashing around. And I'd like everyone to make me a perception check as well as you do this.
Are you bringing it to land?
Yeah, I'll just be slowly moving it across the
Okay.
thing towards land.
Kichan, Irina, Llewellyn, and Andy, you can all see, except everyone but Carius, probably because you're concentrating on the spell and you're moving it across and it's still spinning and swirling. But everyone else is kind of like looking at Carius's handiwork, and they notice there are small little spears sticking out of the side of this creature. As you bring it to land, it starts thrashing around and trying to hop its way back towards water, unless you're like still.
Yeah, I'm still keeping in the sphere.
Okay, sure.
Like,
So it's up to a minute.
Yep.
But yeah, you definitely see there are like small spears wounds in it, like still sticking out.
Should we kill it while it's in the sphere, or do you want to drop it and then we all Rochambeau it?
I mean, it's up to you guys. I'm just gonna.
I'll give it a stab with a dagger into the water sphere.
Okay, go ahead.
Watch me miss now.
Can it still attack whilst it's in here?
Oh my god.
It's considered restrained.
Gotcha. So it's a disadvantage. So Llewellyn tries to go over and strike at it.
Do I get advantage because it's restrained?
Yes.
Oh, thank god. Oh my god.
13.
Yeah.
It's not a hit, I'm afraid.
Wow.
This thing is quite dexterous, as it's like still swirling around in this space. And as you're just about to stab it, yeah, that's not going to hit. You see a powerful fin-like tail slap out, but you're able to like quickly duck away from it. This thing is still quite dangerous, by the way.
Yeah.
That's with disadvantage, so for all the other one.
Again.
Get closer again. 15 will do it, but he will also take another bite at you as well.
Die.
These three. What's your AC? Oh, wait. Yeah, what's your AC?
Shield.
Wait, this is a disadvantage, but what's your AC?
Oh no. My AC is like 16.
16. Okay. Yeah, so you bring up a shield and you block as this huge pointy mouth comes towards you and tries to snap your neck off. You do manage to stab it for 5 slashing even.
Does it look like I'm getting anywhere here?
It's looking bloodied already because of the spear wounds in it, but it's gonna clearly need something more than a knife wound. This is a large creature. It's like taking on a great white.
I dive into the sphere with like
I
dagger.
mean, you'd be restrained, but
No.
you can.
We're absolutely mad.
No, I'm
Sure.
taking
Do it. Do it.
No.
Do it. Do it.
Oh,
do
I
it.
did not mean to click that, but sure.
Oh my god.
Reach out.
Whoops, sorry, tasered you.
I actually didn't want to click that, but I'll take it.
Sure, roll it. Go ahead.
Kashan's just kind of watching his ears drop. It's like, at least they're trying, right?
So, Gary, describe to me how you like accidentally do this and go up to
Yeah,
it.
I'm just sort of focusing, my tail swishing to control this spell. I'm just like, all right, let me go to do this, and I go to sort of reach to grab my glaive, sort of, and hold one hand, and then it's just like, oops, and I accidentally shock it. I'm just like, wrong gesture.
All right, yeah, you completely fry this thing. It's just like see electricity surging through every fin. Its eyes suddenly like look like they're going inwards.
I mean, hopefully they like cooked fish. I actually didn't do that.
Oh, damn. And before long, this thing stops twitching and like eventually goes still. And the body of water again probably drops after the minute, and the thing falls to the floor with a heavy thud. However, you start to hear kind of a hacking cough nearby, and it's coming from the water. And you start to see a creature pulling itself up. Let's check. Where is it? Yeah, sure. All right. So you start to see a small furry creature. It's literally covered in water, so its wet fur is like slopped all over its face, and you hear it like. It starts spitting out water and pulling bits of weed off of itself, throwing it to the floor. You see in one hand, still clenched, is a long spear with small little decorative trinkets on it, little feathered tokens and other strange, I guess, tribal markings. And this furry creature kind of like shakes it off like a dog who's just got out of a pond or whatever, and it's just shaking it wildly, and wet kind of goes everywhere. It splashes like across some of quite close to where the water's edge is, and then it looks around like with kind of bleary eyes. And let me grab its token. And,
I'm going to aid it and just shape water to like get the water off of it.
Sure. As you kind of shake all the little water off, you see this creature looking around with a rather aggressive looking temperament, suddenly sees you and starts growling like "Arr, arr."
Oh.
Oh.
It's like an Ewok had a shave.
Yeah.
Put the neck down.
I'll just. Does this by any chance look like the same creature as before?
No, nowhere near. The other one was made of like leaf and vine and very slender looking and agile and in the trees. This one's sort of gruff, very small, like comparison to wires. The other thing was like a fully standing humanoid. This is a low to the ground creature. It's no. In fact, it's probably shorter than Finzu. And this thing kind of looks around and goes. And he starts gesturing towards you with this spear.
Bless you. Jesus.
Do you know what do any of us know what type of creature this
No,
is?
I have to check everyone's languages. God.
My brain is basically like, okay, so we've got tall, elegant tree people and short, hairy, angry things, gnomes and elves. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, that was exactly where my mum was going.
This is exactly what I was thinking.
prehistoric versions.
They've really become nature.
Does anyone speak Gnomish anyway?
I think I speak Dwarvish, not Gnomish. Hang on.
Okay.
The other short people.
I speak Dwarvish and I speak Goblin.
I speak Common, Infernal, and Primordial.
I mean,
Okay.
I can read all languages, but that's about it.
I just put my hand up to him, and I'm just like, I just start getting out the runes to do comprehend language.
Okay, sure.
Like hold him there for 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Are you gonna seriously do that? Or do you want to just cast it as an action? Come on.
I don't have it prepared for an action.
Are you serious? Okay, in that case then, this thing comes over to where the body of the creature is and guards it. He's like, kind of growling.
Kashan is going to step forward and say, like, he's going to continue speaking in Sylvan just because everything the Treant spoke in Sylvan, so.
Okay.
He's just going to take a knee and say, we come in peace, we don't mean any harm. Are you from around these parts? Well, I mean, fucking obviously. Sorry. Are you from one of the tribes?
As you say that in Sylvan, its kind of mean, angry temperament goes from kind of warding you back to suddenly wide-eyed and almost a state of panic. And as you say that, it goes and starts rushing towards you with the spear. It's going to make an attack against you as well, Kashan.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Oh, it's terrible. So he's tripping
at disadvantage.
Oh yeah. Well, he's still kind of covered in wet, and he slips up and goes face plant into the mud, and his spear also kind of falls into it. And he's like,
"Oh, I'll just turn to him and go, oh no. I'll like help him up and like try and like wipe him off. I don't.
clambers around.
We mean no harm. I just kind of hold my hands up.
It suddenly grabs his spear again, clambers to his feet, and then with his spear is like backing, trying to get you to back off. It seems to be more angry now that you're starting to talk in that language.
I turn to the rest of them. I don't understand. The writings say that language unifies everyone. Or unites everyone.
It's possible that your scroll was from a while ago and things have changed.
Could I just speak through the different languages that I know to see if he is friendly towards one of them?
Sure. Do you
I'm gonna go for Dwarvish and Goblin, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, let me do the same.
All people languages, so it might relate. I don't know.
Let's start with Abyssal.
He kind of looks at you questioningly, like, eh? And doesn't seem to understand any of them. But then, do you get to Sylvan? Because I know you can speak Sylvan.
Well, it's just, it just had an angry reaction to it, so I'm not going to do Sylvan, you crazy?
Okay. It just kind of looks confused at you, like, eh?
I can do Draconic. I could try Draconic.
That's raw.
As you speak in Draconic, he just sneezes, and he aims the sneeze in Kashan's face.
Deflect missile.
So you catch the snot again.
So,
Pretty gross.
as I'm doing these runes, can I roar at him in Infernal?
No.
Just
Don't
just
roar
like-
at him.
I
not
have
roar.
no idea.
Speak Infernal.
I'm gonna say just speed finally complete that ritual. And now you can comprehend languages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it tongues or comprehend language?
I can understand what he's saying.
So you can't speak it. Cool. That makes things fun. All right.
At least
So this is what happens. As soon as you finish casting this, the language goes from this kind of aggressive little nattering to, well, aggressive little nattering. He says, "My kill! You take my kill! Rip dip! Taunt you with spear! Yeah. Dumb tabaxi! Now you owe rip dip!"
It's what I thought. He thinks you're a dumb tabaxi and we stole his kill.
Well, I
You
mean,
got one of those right.
roll the Constitution saving throw.
Carius,
We were killing it to make friends, right?
yeah.
Maybe we cut a section off and give it to him.
Carius is going to try something a little bit odd. He's going to try to use shape water to basically form like vague, like almost like charade images in the air to try to explain that that the group are willing to share this with them, but without actually speaking.
Right. So you're trying to like interpretive
Yeah.
description. Yeah, roll me, I guess, a performance check.
Come
It's
on,
the best
come
I've got.
on, come on.
Not bad.
Okay.
So that I just charm person, but
That's no fun.
option.
Okay. What did you get? An 11. It kind of looks at you for a moment. Okay. You come with me. You know how you owe Riptip. You know, Riptip slave. Come. You slay many more beasts for Riptip.
You just made him believe that we are now his slaves.
I ain't nobody's slave.
Come
He
on.
wants us to kill more things for him.
To demonstrate my point, I'm just going to take out my glaive and slice this fish in two, and then push a bit towards him.
Says, yes, you carry.
He wants you
Northeast of here.
He said yes, no carry.
Carry. You carry other half. And he points towards you, Llewellyn.
I look at Llewellyn for a moment and go, well, maybe it might be good to play along, because that way he's might take us to more of them, and maybe some of those others will be able to talk better or be more understanding.
But then the problem is that we aren't able to respond back to them, so we would potentially just end up being slaves.
Well, he understood what you said, he just didn't like it, right?
He suddenly whacks you against the leg, Kishan, and says, go, Tabaxi, go, or I taunt you a second time.
He just didn't like the fact that I spoke Sylvan. Perhaps if we do find the people who speak Sylvan, then maybe we might be able to get some answers around here and understand exactly what we're dealing with.
I mean, this guy, we could just probably step over and avoid him, ignore him completely.
He's like a little teddy bear. It will be just fine.
He continues to wave his spin brown menacingly.
I like that we're just ignoring him. We're talking over
Yeah.
just having a conversation like a toddler whacking at their parent's leg and just being like, yeah, you carry on, kid.
Well, if it works, I can go with him, because at least I can get out of it easily enough.
But should we be splitting up in a place that we don't know?
Well, you can keep an eye on it from a distance, I guess, and I'll just follow along and then see where it goes. It's either that or we just ignore him entirely, and then he'll probably chase us and try to stab us, and he knows the land better than us, so...
But you could charm him?
I mean, I could, but we don't speak his language, so I don't know how much that'll help.
I could plunge him into darkness.
Let's not go too hasty. Remember, we're trying to take the
It's
passive
not
approach.
violent, I'm just... He wouldn't know where we went, that's all.
So I could suggest that he leaves with his half?
I mean, maybe try and... I mean, I'm not sure how your magic works. If you can try and get him to understand our side of the story, maybe that might work.
No, it says it has to understand you. No, it has to understand. Damn it.
I'm just trying to...
I think one of our best options would be to search out the denizens who understand Sylvan, because then at least we should be able to have, conversation and understand exactly what's going on. Because once again, I don't understand why this this place is meant to be, at peace. Everyone is meant to be working together in harmony, but well, so far it's making me doubt my own understandings.
So we stand in front of our half the fish and shoo him away?
No, we're gonna go find the people that speak Sylvan. Forget the fish.
Just let him take the fish.
Oh, I thought the point was we get the fish to give to the people who are Sylvan.
But,
Yeah, but
we don't understand them.
He's also saying that he wants to take us as slaves. I'm not.
No.
Come on, slaves. Come
No,
on.
I'm saying, do we not want to get a peace offering for the people who speak Sylvan? I thought that was the point where we were getting the fish.
Well, I think with word of reason we might be able to actually talk to the people who speak Sylvan. I mean, we can certainly try, however, this little one has unfortunately foiled the plan of us making a peace treaty by us, and he kind of does the air quotes, stealing his kill. We've kind of annoyed him more than helping.
How small is this creature in comparison to the fish?
The fish is a large creature. He's a small creature.
Yeah, he ain't dragging both halves away anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Nope.
So let him drag away, try and drag away his half, and we just drag away ours. And what's he gonna do?
Get more angry, tell the other people, and we've just made more enemies than we have done good.
We don't need to drag half a giant fish.
If we don't go with him as slaves now, he could do that anyway, and we've got enemies.
Well, what's your suggestion? Because if we go back with them and we don't understand the word they're saying, and they hate us anyway, then...
Well, my suggestion is just take our half of what we killed and just walk away. Shoo
But
him away as we
then
go.
that's going to do exactly what you were saying. He's going to go back and we have enemies.
Well,
There's no
unless you
difference.
unless you want to be slaves, that's going to happen anyway.
But we don't. The point is that we don't actually need the fish anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
We're not going. The fish was to get friends with the furry people, but the furry people, we can't understand them, and they're aggressive. So we're going to go look for the other side of them, the ones that we can understand. And because we understand them, we won't necessarily need a bribe.
It's fine. I'm just saying, fish or without fish, he's going to go back and we've got enemies anyway because we're not being his slaves, which is what he said we are now.
Exactly. So it's like two options. Go with him and potentially meet his people, not understand a word, and maybe talk our way out using something. Or we walk away and go and find the other people where hopefully they'll understand. Because my assumption is some shit has broken up between these people and we need to bring them back together.
Actually, just before we do anything, I just had an idea. I'm just going to see if it works.
Excuse me while I kick this little munchkin.
Okay. Right. I'm going to try something. I'm going to have my pseudo-dragon telepathically speak to him in simple ideas, emotion, and images, because I can, to basically tell him that we won't be his slaves. We are happy to give him the food. We just want to find out what's going on this island.
Okay, roll a performance check.
Oh god, performance from the pseudo-dragon, I guess?
Oh, yeah.
Andy, if you
It's
play
not
me...
talking in a language, so you're enacting. It's like just you're basically doing interpretive description.
Yeah, it's an odd one.
If
but
Andy
yeah.
plays some backing music to keep him enthralled.
Well,
help out with the situation.
While he starts doing that, I'm gonna go back to making more runes. I cast the wrong spell. I'm gonna start casting Rary's telepathic bond so we can all speak to him.
Wait, what?
He has a telepathy spell.
I mean, I guess that works.
Don't they have to be willing for that?
I'm sure he'd be willing with his slaves. Slaves.
Well, you're gonna have to.
You casting this whilst everyone's had this huge debate, yeah? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's basically been 10 minutes, so I'll say yeah, sure. So you cast Rary's telepathic bond, yeah?
Yeah, and
Rary.
you can speak whether you know the language or not. Through your mind. My
Cool.
God. I've not used that before, so I'm just getting
When
used to
did you even get it? That's what I want to know.
Elravan.
He got it from
Oh,
my spell
yeah.
book.
Okay,
Yeah, the last time we used it was to speak to Ivan.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, so you hear the creature say, well, first of all, he's been talking this whole time. Like, these are the most talkative slaves ever. Ugh. Come on, pick fish up. Don't make eat your cloak.
And bam. Take it away, Carius.
Right. Wait, why am I the? Okay, never mind.
Oh,
I'll go.
You can finally understand now. Good,
Yes, right.
you smart now.
We
Right, you
weren't intending to be
no,
your
you pick-
slave.
yeah. Stop talking back. Come.
What we were intending to do was give you half of this food because you did some of the damage. We
Yes,
did the other
and
bit,
half for
and
High Shaman Jackrack. Yes,
some of
come
what?
on. Half for other High Shaman Jackrack.
So, can we come with you, but as friends rather than slaves?
Yes, come on, slaves.
No, not as slaves.
You slay more beasts for Bozu tribe. Come. And he starts heading off, by the way, at this point. He says, we go Bozu Hill to northeast.
It's people. They might be able to give us some information, Kashan, but it's up to you.
Bozu best tribe.
I mean, it might be worth finding out both sides of the story, so if we can go and talk to one of their leaders and cast the same spell, then potentially we might be able to find out what's going on. And my only problem is that if we do go, how are we going to get out to find the other half of this story?
Well, I can teleport two of us out.
In fact, what am I talking about? We're level 12. We'll be fine.
I don't like the fact that he's still addressing us as slaves. I want to kick him in the face.
Don't
Well-
kick him in the face, because
I'm
quite
not going
frankly,
to, but he
you'll
needs to
probably
stop.
you'll kick him
What?
far enough to throw him off the edge. I mean, look at him. I can imagine he'll squeak.
I mean, what if slave means something different in their culture?
I very much doubt it. It's a very universal term.
I don't know. Arg means pour more boiling oil on in some cultures, or so I heard. So
If they try to enslave me, I'm setting the place on fire.
Don't set the place on fire for the
I'm
love.
warning you. I'll do it.
I mean, now we could use suggestion to get him to stop calling us slaves.
I mean, I only have charm person. I don't have suggestion.
Let's just go to the place and let's try and find the leaders and talk to them. Let's get some sense into this.
Yeah.
What was the shaman's name? Sorry?
Jackrack?
Jack Rack.
Yeah.
Rackjack.
Jack Black?
yeah. Yeah, it's actually just a kind of a slightly overweight, hairy, bearded creature
Well, what's
wielding
it-
a guitar.
what did this one say it was called?
Said his name is Rip Dip.
At this point, Chris, are we having a break? 'Cause
Yeah, we should have done one.
Oh God,
Like,
yeah.
an hour ago.
Oops.
Yeah. Cool, we'll go for a quick break as everyone starts following this supposedly superior creature in the jungles, now having taken a whole host of slaves on. And he leads them with his spear pointing to the northeast. But yes, we'll be right back. Because that voice is quite a strain. Need water. And welcome back to Roll Story. So, the party have followed this strange furry creature named Rip Dip all the way through the jungle and up this large hill. And it's coming a bit, I guess, swampier on top of this hill, strangely enough. But probably because of all the mud and dirt that they keep tracking through here.
Can I just, sorry, as we travel, I want to be trying to make sort of like a makeshift map as we go, sort of in my notebook.
Yeah, sure.
Just as best as I can, really.
Right. It is quite hard to make landmarks. It's just so wild and untamed. But nonetheless, you start to follow the track upwards, and eventually coming towards, you start to see little fires. You smell the signs of, I guess, cooked meats, and you even start to hear the sounds of sounds like chattering or murmuring, and eventually you come up to see these strange little huts that seem to have, what are they called, a rough wooden structure to them. In my head they look a bit more crude than even this. These look at least kind of like they have a set design to them. But these are very crude little huts that are kind of like stuck up and out of the mud. And you can see that there are small little cooking fires over, and over the top of them are like meats that are on the cooking. You can see fish as well, like barrels of them. And there's loads of these little creatures kind of all scampering around. The little clawed feet kind of scraping up bits of meat and shoveling it into their hand. But yeah, then nonetheless, they kind of look at you with these beady eyes in deep set sockets, and they start kind of all growling in unison. And Ripdip's like, "No, no, okay, no slaves." And everyone's like, "No, okay." And he says, "We're High Shaman." And they all kind of like point to a big hut, and you start to see him like gesture and point towards it, trying to like get you guys to go. He keeps on whacking you in the legs as you go by, trying to like push you onwards. Come on, slave.
Start walking forward.
Okay, cool.
You can see Irina's gritting her teeth at this point.
Yeah. I don't know how long it'll take us to get there and all that, but every hour I just recast it.
Sure.
Because
Okay.
otherwise we can't understand him.
Yep. I'm gonna sneeze, but I'm probably not gonna sneeze. Nope. Yes. Nope.
He sneezes at Kashan.
God, it's the worst. Isn't it? It's the worst. And you can't sneeze. All right, that's not having it. So, as I was saying, you come up towards this large. You see all these kind of little bone trinkets everywhere. You seem to see little water catchers as well, made for catching like fresh water. There are, what are they called? Carved little trinkets as well, like strange wooden sculptures, and they depict like small, well, versions of themselves, I guess. But they try to attach like bits of fur and feathers to make them look more interesting than just a chunk of wood. And yeah, as you come up onto this little kind of rickety platform, you can probably, as you guys step up onto it, some of the planks probably snap because it's like rotten with wood. And these guys can scamper across it no problem. They're not heavy enough. But as you kind of get up onto it, you hear like snap, and you know what? Everyone can remember your dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Yeah, I really.
Oh no.
You hear the... Oh god, and Llewellyn. Okay, everyone else is fine, but as Irina and Llewellyn, you step up these steps, up onto this grand platform. I say grand. Both of you snap through several planks and end up like landing in the mud beneath it. And you hear one of them come around with a spear and start whacking you like, "Bad, clumsy slave!"
Can I contest and grab the spear and pull one of them into the mud?
I would like to grab the spear and hurl it away from me.
Okay, sure. Roll me an athletics.
No,
Both of you. Wow. Yeah, he's got pluses to that as well. As you try to grab his spears, yeah, he kind of just pulls it away, and he seems like quite swift even for a little pudgy creature like this. He's quick enough to pull and yank the spear away, and as you try to grab a hold of it, he slaps your hand away with it. "No, bad slave. Get back up. Come on. You are standing in the presence of High Chieftain. Show respect." And you do see there is a very large, even more kind of pudgy looking creature. This one seems to have stripes of kind of red all the way down its head, all the way down its back, and you see a really big bushy tail. It kind of almost resembles that of like a red panda, and his face is also painted with some sort of like white paint across him. There's kind of looks like a skull shape, but it's kind of lopsided in one half, so it kind of just looks messy. And he's got a number of different little bone trinkets by his side as well. In fact, he's sitting atop a large treasure chest by the looks, and you have no idea what's in it because it's closed right now. But it definitely looks like an ornate treasure chest, one that would have probably housed perhaps hundreds of gold coins. But it's closed right now, and it's got a big old lock on it as well. Anyway, he seems to be using it as a pseudo throne right now, and he kind of looks at you all and says, "You new slaves? Good, good. We've been running out." "I am High Chieftain Rackjack." Everyone kind of gives a cheer. "Rackjack, Rackjack."
Rack Jack.
Now, you think yourselves hunters, hmm? And he kind of like looks at the big cut up fish thing. He said, you bring fish. Good.
Pearls.
Give. He kind of like asks you to give him the.
God, I'm really tempted to do this. I'm tempted to just throw the fish.
No,
at him.
no. Just,
Oh, no,
I'll
guys.
just say, I'll say to the others in common, just hand it over.
I just toss the fish
Okay.
at his feet.
Yeah, he grabs a hold of his spear and he stabs it with a one hefty puncture and lifts it up and then noms the whole thing whole and eats it. Other half for tribe. Go. And you see one of the smaller ones kind of like scamper over it, grab it, start bringing it to a fire. And notice as sitting on the chest. And I'd like you to roll perception checks just to see if you have any understanding of what it might be. Will it be Arcana? Though?
Nope.
Did you say Arcana?
Nope.
Yeah, if you can spot it.
Oh, Arcana.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say Arcana, really.
Oh, okay.
This is something you would see, but not necessarily understand, sorry. Yeah, I meant to say Arcana. Okay, that's better. Alright. So, this creature that's sitting on top of a throne, you can see that where his fur seems to be over the top of the bands of metal, it seems like the fur has taken on a golden sort of texture, and you see his underside has also kind of taken on like what looks to be like a wooden sort of texture from the actual sort of planks of wood that make up the chest, obviously. It's kind of odd, very odd. Up to this point, all the kind of creatures you've been seeing before, you've had that weird looking shaven side to it. Like if you have a little look at the artwork here, you can see the underhalf looks to be more like shaven and earthy looking. The same for all of the creatures, except for the one sitting atop the chest. It actually looks like his belly is made of wood. It looks like his belly might be a chest in of itself. And Llewellyn, I think, and Irina, you can definitely tell that there's some sort of weird magic transformation taking place depending on what it's sat on. It's almost like they're absorbing the material and turning into it.
So does this one look like?
It looks like it's
Similar.
made of like wood and
Sorry, does this one look similar to the one that I saw in the tree? Was it more slender?
No, not at all. Nowhere
Gotcha.
near. These are all like short, pudgy things. And the thing you saw,
Yeah, I'm
slender and tall.
kind of putting the pieces together.
Oh, you know.
Yeah,
Cool.
kind of.
Well,
I hope.
nonetheless,
Sorry, how far away is he sitting from us?
about 15 foot away.
Sweet. I would like to use Ghostly Gaze, which I can use at any point, to look through the chest.
Okay. All right, you. So you can see through this chest and strange little weird. What are they? You swear you see like a sort of like a round disc. It looks metallic. They seem to have like strange square-like edges. There are other parts that look like they have coils and springs, and all you can make out is perhaps piles and piles of what are they called, like tools or things that are like metallic in nature. Most of them are metallic, but they have like strange alien-looking forms. They're nothing like you've seen before in the libraries, but some of them might resemble them, like a long like handle with a coil at the end of it kind of resembles that of like a wand, but it looks sort of like it's made of metal, which wands normally aren't. And another one looks like a kind of ring, but as I said, it's more like a cog instead of a ring. And at the end of it, it's got a nut like a nut you would tighten something with, rather than like a gemstone. Yeah.
I'm going to take a second and just sort of quickly sketch those down so I can show the others later.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, another one looks like it might be a sword, but it seems to be like a serrated edge. Yeah. Anyway, there's all kinds of strange things in there, but it's filled to the brim with them. Anyway, what's that Neanderthal nose? Anyway, you see that he kind of gestures towards you and goes, "Now, slave, we have business. Yes."
I look to the group. Would you like me to talk?
If I talk, I'll say something horrible. So you better.
I've somehow managed to get us made into slaves through my talking, so probably best not to leave it to me.
Per se, what kind of business are you talking about?
Last died to the underground menace.
The underground menace?
Yes. Big, buzzy, buzz. As he does that, all of the other little creatures around you start going. They all make this buzzing noise. And Rip Dip looks at you and goes, "Yes, nasty waspies."
Okay. And so you wish for these to be dealt with?
Yes, all slaves must prove themselves hunters.
Well then, once we deal with this, are you going to continue calling us slaves?
You may be honorary tribe hunters. But still slaves.
We would be more than willing to carry out this task for you. However, we do not want to be held here against our will. We are, and I speak for the rest of the party, we are all adventurers. We have come across this land from very, very far away. We do not wish to bring any unkind to your people. We are more than happy to help any way that we can. But of course there must be a middle ground. We do not wish to be slaves, because that is unkind to, well, the world after all. It's very unkind to keep slaves.
Slave is good life. You get food. You get weapon.
But you get these against your will. You speak unwillingly to the ones who speak Sylvan.
And you speak weird. Speak strange. In
I'm-
head. Kind of like knocks his head with his staff, with his spear.
I'm very sorry, that's my accent
Shake your
coming
head.
through. Let me just... You speak in a different tongue, do you not?
No, they just kind of look at you. No, still head. Still head speaking.
Anyway. You speak less of the ones who speak Sylvan, correct? You don't like the ones who speak Sylvan.
They all start like growling. Siggy leaves. Siggy leaves.
Might I ask why?
You no ask of this. You slay waspies, then we will talk of Siggy leaves.
Well, in fact, everyone can hear that. I'll just look to the group. It's like,
Yeah, sure. It's speaking in common now. I mean, it's either that or we kill him.
no, no. bad, Llewellyn. Knock him on the head. I'm gonna.
I start chuckling.
I'll just say, may I have a spear? Just start poking Llewellyn.
You use spear on waspies, not on strange one.
Okay, so if we deal with these waspies, we are no longer slaves. We are free, and we discuss what is going on in these lands. As I look around to, like, the rest of the people in the village. Things are different here. A lot different than it has been for a while now.
Yeah. Okay. You can make me a persuasion check. And you can do so with advantage because you're kind of repeating what he's saying.
Yeah.
Just with the added thing of we're not slaves.
13?
Yes.
Okay. That was easy enough.
You're slaves. Right now.
I will agree for the moment that we are your slaves until we finish this task.
Good. Now, slave thing. Go kill one.
Bite your tongue, Irina.
May we have a guide to this underground of where
Yes.
we'll bring these wasps?
Rip Dip. You go with.
Yeah.
Rip
But I
Dip
have-
is excellent wasp hunter. You be wasp hunter's apprentice. And slave.
Very well. We shall be led by Rip Dip, and yes, we shall be slaves.
Now, strong hunters.
Yes.
And no, let me catch you speak of Siggy leave here again.
Until
And
we
there's
talk
another growl.
afterwards, yes.
There's another growl from everyone like, "Mm."
Until afterwards, of course.
We will see, If you come back alive, not many slaves live.
I'm sure this will be a task easily enough for the likes of us.
Yeah, alright then.
We are level 12 after all.
Speak strange language. Go. Go, slave thing.
Okay. Rip Dip!
Alright, yep, Rip Dip says, Chieftain Jack Rack want me to babysit you I'm feeling generous today though, so I let you kill some too. But don't get in Rip Dip's way.
I turn to the chieftain again. Is there any other language you speak? Because otherwise my friend here is going to have to keep on casting a spell so we're actually able to understand you.
He looks at you for a long moment, and then he starts to lift up one leg, and squeezes out a fart, and then...
Oh my god.
and
Very
then
well.
just scratches his butt.
I shall lift my leg over Rip Dip and try and squeeze out a fart again.
You're not sure if he was answering you as if that was the language. I can see where that kind of miscommunication happened, but no, he was just ignoring you.
I'm sorry, but my intelligence is -1. I'm going for it. I may be wise as fuck, but I'm dumb as fuck.
So Rip Dip looks at you and does the same in response, but his one's a lot squeakier. Or should I say, jiggier?
I'll just speak to the rest of the group in common. I think I'm getting through to the.
Yeah, you just keep talking up a storm, Sean.
Can I say that I make Kershawn sound like a musical note? With prestidigitation.
Yeah, why not? You've got prestidigitation, you could do it.
Andy
Yeah.
quickly tuned me.
How the fuck is she meant to do that?
Well, she's meant to play a note on her violin, and then I try and match it.
Unbelievable.
What the hell has this become?
It's D&D.
professional D&D right there.
Right. Let us go.
Yeah.
What
All
better
right.
prestidigitation is there?
Okay. As he kind of gestures to all of you, come on, whacks you. He gives you all a as you are heading down the little ramp. It's a very crude spear. It literally is just a spear. There's nothing special about it. No other qualities except for that it has, I don't know, nice little feathers at the end of it to sort of hide the little stone-shaped blade at the end. But he says, "You need these. Kill waspies. Stab, stab."
It's perfectly fine. I think we are well equipped for this kind of situation, and I just kind of like pull out both of my sickles.
I pull out one of my glaives, which is probably about 3 times the size of his spear.
I pull out my hook.
Oh no, he died first.
Trust me, we thought the same thing.
What the same thing?
All right. If that's the case, they start leading you, or Ribdiv starts leading you out away from the camp. Was there anything else you wanted to do before you leave?
I would like to sort of like almost hang at the back and try and get Lavellin's attention and just show him the sketches. Like, so the chest this guy is sitting on, it's full of some interesting things. And I'm gonna just show him the sketches.
Yeah.
Can I make anything of that?
Yeah, at this point you can sort of both roll an Arcana check as you both sort of, or if Irina wants to just assist you, that could work. I mean, it's technically an assistance anyway because you've got a sketch.
I think we both have the same modifier.
All right, sure. All right, roll with advantage because I think Irina's done the sketch, which will assist you in this.
Okay. 17.
17.
I
All right.
Arcana's higher than mine anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, the stuff that Irina has definitely sketched out does indeed resemble strange, perhaps experimental magical items, and you've seen plenty as well, being used to like sifting through them in the hut. And Irina seems to have picked them out as well, and the actual shapes of them, having known what certain items are and what they do. Except that they have this sort of strange, I guess steampunk-like quality to them. They seem to have like little glass lenses, cogs, screws, nuts and bolts about them.
Where in the hell did they get these? They do not look smart enough to make these.
Yeah, some of them look rusted as well, but others don't. Others look like they're still pristine.
Then again, the quality of that guy looked a bit magical as well.
I think something in the chest was affecting him. I don't think it's actually him himself.
Yeah, these guys are way too primitive to have made
You're
these.
telling me.
They must have come across these somewhere. Maybe the other tribe has more technology.
There's a potential this is what caused the rift. They could have stolen it.
Maybe. Next time we come here, remind me to cast detect magic before we go in.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna roll a d5 to see who he picks as a chariot. It looks like it's Kashan. All right, sweet.
If Rip and Irina, we've been in trouble.
Okay. You look like strong slave. Starts climbing up onto you, and he jumps up onto your back, like effectively like Yoda from from Star Wars. And he starts pointing. Now go! He starts using his spear as a device to point you in the right direction. And as he's climbed up, by the way, you see his lower half, which was before unfurred, now suddenly changed into the same texture and fur as Kashan. And it looks like he's got like a matching backpack on him.
Oh.
I got this. So, Kashan just kind of like chuckles slightly, and he breaks off into a sprint. And I mean action, bonus action, like his what's it called, Step of the Wind,
Oh, God.
everything. And I'm talking, I think it's like 200 feet
Yeah,
per 6 seconds.
it's pretty fast.
So I'm just going to bolt in one direction and just see if he handles that.
Yeah, jeez, okay, sure.
We're no longer slaves apart from Kashan.
That's gonna be tricky. I'll have to roll him.
So, Irina, looks like that might be a racial ability.
He barely holds on, but he's like with his little clawed hand digging into your shoulders.
Looks like that may have been a racial ability. The camouflage thing.
That is interesting.
And then I do the same back to the group.
Yeah, I think at this point you can't start slipping down from your back, and then grabs a hold of like your you're wearing robes, aren't you?
Yeah.
Red ones. As he grabs a hold of the robes, you start to see his fur change from Kashan's texture to that of a red silk.
And I just stop off at the group and just kind of like look down and say to him, well, you hung on at least.
Yes, good, fast chariot.
Let's just hope that you can keep up with us, okay? We don't want you losing your slaves now, do we?
Kind of eyes you. Well, you can definitely go in first with the.
That's perfectly fine. I'm happy to do that as long as you're on my back.
You reminded me. Jack Rack doesn't know yet, but Rip Dip has eye on big bad wasp mama.
Big
What?
bad boss mama.
Wasp mama, yeah.
I assume he means the queen.
That would make sense.
There is a big one. If I come back with it, I will be new tribe leader. Yes, new chieftain. Rip Dip will know power of Bozo tribe.
Huh.
Well, just point us in the right direction. As long as we get our information, then all is well.
Only seen it once. Lives deep underground in the nest. You need to get many stabbies to get to it.
How many are there in there?
More and more every day. That's why we tribe are trying to fight them. They're overgrowing, taking over a whole jungle. Now they're grown as big as fish, bigger than big fish, bigger than that tree. And he points to a tree that's over like 15 foot tall.
I think he's exaggerating.
Oh, he's definitely exaggerating.
Inside check.
I mean, the size of that tree thing we saw.
18.
I mean, it's hard to tell with him being so small. It is likely that they're bigger than that. But if this place is, like you've already seen, overgrowing things and seems to be like lush and vibrant, then it's possible that insects too have grown to enormous sizes. But we'll see.
Very well. Well, point the way in the right direction and we shall go.
Okay. Yeah, he starts pushing forward. I'm just going to roll him a survival check to make sure he doesn't get lost in it. Real quick. +4, because it's... Ooh, that's not good. Okay, so Rip Dip starts kind of... he points in one way. He goes, there! That way to nest. And as you start making your way, Kashan, and he's still like holding onto your shoulders, he goes, no, actually that way there. And he kind of like thwacks your head as the spear kind of was pointing to your left, and then he like whacks you, and then he's like, there you go. Yeah, and your head kind of like tilts, and he's like, that way, that's definitely that way.
Do you 100% know where you're going?
Yes, listen. Okay, we're not close yet. Keep going.
I don't think this guy knows where he's going.
You're listening for buzz, buzz, buzz.
I start making buzzing noises as we're walking.
Ah, there's one! Yeah! Yeah! He throws a spear in your general direction.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's rolling.
You got 15.
It misses me.
Okay, it just sticks into the dirt, kind of
Oh, wait.
near
Did
your
you say?
happy shoes.
What number did you say?
15 I got.
15. Okay, so
Yeah.
10 there. But 15 is my armor class, so.
Oh.
Oh no! Oof. Okay. You can take
Oh
some
my God.
damage, I'm afraid.
Irena's gonna kill them all. Oh my god. No.
You take 11 points of. Oh my god, that was new. That was max. 11 points.
Candlelight appears in my hand.
Irina, put it away.
There is a spear stuck in your foot.
Irina, you did bring that upon yourself. We're here to keep peace, remember? Regardless of what happens, we need to just maintain our cool. We need to find out what's going on here. He's going to look probably the most serious that you've seen, Kashan.
I pull the spear out of my foot and just literally arm out, drops it, and just carries on walking.
No, slating, pick up my spear, bring back.
I keep walking.
Carius picks up the spear, but just sort of hands it to him in such a way that he'd have to reach out and grab the blade and grab hold of it.
Okay. Ah, it's all covered in blood. He takes, because it's a stone, like, tipped spear, he grabs it and you immediately see his whole arm kind of turn into rocky, like, substance. And it's kind of hued in red as well, like his claws go a blood red.
Huh.
And then he grabs it, turns it around, and his can become like a third wooden. It turns actually wooden, I guess, because the shaft of the spear is made of wood. So his hands are like wood right now. Yeah.
I glance at Irina and then just sort of I'll cast Healing Word to heal some of that damage. Oh, that was a sucky roll.
So God. Before we end it, everyone make me one last perception check, and we'll see if we can get any closer to this nest.
30.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Karen.
nice.
Cool.
Good old
Okay.
Carius.
You start to realize you're going in a bit of a zigzag direction. He doesn't quite know exactly where he's going. He seems to know the jungle well, but he can't remember where the nest is. And then suddenly you hear it in the distance, Carius. Something that kind of goes just past your ear. You know when like a fly kind of goes past. It's like that, and you kind of turn, trying to catch ear of it again. And then suddenly, Llewellyn, you hear it kind of go past behind you, and you like look around to see where it's coming from, and you swear you just catch the sight of some sort of winged creature, and it's stark yellow shell. You just saw like of yellow, and as you start to kind of like look around, Carius, you start to notice that the trees around here are covered in this strange kind of mucus as well, and you start to hear a hovering kind of noise like above your head, and it's one of these like hornets, and it seems to be looking at you, inspecting you almost, and then it suddenly zooms away, like before you even have a chance to like get a spell ready to fling at it. It seems like a scout has perhaps just spotted you, and it suddenly zooms away. But the direction you see it zoom, you can head in that direction, and you start to hear more buzzing and zzz, zzz. And at this point, I think his ears start twitching. Little Rip Dip, and he's like, ah, "We're here."
All right, let's get ready to rumble, boys and girls.
Yeah.
We need to get down into nest, and he kind of jabs his spear into the ground. They're below us. And that is where I think we will end tonight's session. But yeah. Whew, what do we think, guys? First proper session in the jungles.
I love it.
You love it?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Cool.
Irina hates this little tribe, but I enjoyed that.
I like how we move on from Datan's arc of being passive, and move on to Kashan's arc of being passive.
Irina struggles with being passive, but she's trying.
Aaron does as well. He's just sort of like, can we just kill the guys? But
Irina
I'm
is so
trying.
tempted to burst into flame to terrify this tribe, but she's just like, no.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, you can tell I'm definitely going for a much more light-hearted tone with this one. It's not as doom and gloom as like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right,
That'll
let's
probably
do, let's do sign off.
Okay, cool. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed as well, and we'll be back next Friday for these guys as they delve deeper into the hornet's nest, the waspies.
But be sure to join us Sunday as well. And Monday.
Sunday we'll be playing Baba Yaga's Dancing Hut, where you'll see witch hunters as they are still trying to figure out how to undo their shrunken forms. Basically a real Alice in Wonderland situation, so that's going to be fun. And Mondays you can catch us playing Curse Breakers. Curse of Strahd campaign is getting interesting. We're about to take on the celebratory festival. And we'll see where that goes. I have a feeling it's not going to be as happy as what we think it will be. But we'll see. And then straight after that we have Tomb of Annihilation as well, where the Last Resort Company are about to set off into the jungles as well, as it happens. More jungle adventures. But, yeah.
And if you have missed any episodes whatsoever, do feel free to catch up to us on YouTube, where we will be posting up all of our episodes to all of the campaigns as much as we can. Pretty sure they go up either soon after or a couple of days after the session.
Yeah, essentially it will be not the immediate day after, but the day after that at like 12-ish.
And we
All
shall... Ooh, go
Is,
ahead.
is in the links below and the information below in the Twitch.
Yep,
All
check
free.
Follow us on Twitter.
And thank you very much for watching.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye!
Bye-bye.
God, we have such a long sign off.